Oh, and a good evening to you, and a happy October as well as we welcome you to Cardinal Field here in Treynor, Iowa for this Class 1A District 8 clash between the Underwood Eagles and the Treynor Cardinals. I'm Ethan Hewitt here alongside John Tarks. We got the call for you on this one. And John, a couple of teams that have found a lot of success this season so far, and should be a fun one tonight.
Yeah, combined 9-1 records this evening. I think one of the highlights of the evening is we do have the defending state track champions and the runner-up, so we should have a fast couple teams on the field tonight and a fast surface to play on.
Sure, obviously plenty of athletes on both of these teams. Underwood 5-0 on the year, coming off a big 70-6 win last week over MVAOCOU. Had to practice my alphabet a lot for that name. And Treynor 4-1 on the year, only lost to Tri-Center this so far, lost 14-0 in week 2. Coming off a big win last week though, 34-7, and Treynor's offense really has gotten going this past couple of weeks. So what are you going to be watching tonight, John, as you're watching these two sort of titans of this district clash?
Well, Treynor's pretty old school in how they look at it, and Underwood's pretty new school. You're going to see some Georgia Tech Air Force style flex bone out of them. That's kind of their base offense. But then you've also see some I formation concepts, some fullback trap. Coach Casey's an old school Nebraska guy like myself, so you'll see some of that on the field tonight. And I really want to see how Treynor can handle Underwood's front three of Carter Davis, Easton Elledge, and Thomas Hunnicky. I think that'll be a very major part of the game.
Certainly so. Both teams have come into some pretty dominant defenses, a lot of experience on both sides of the ball for both of these teams. And really, what is it about Underwood this year that you think is really making this team click right now?
There's just a lot of diversity. It's not just one or two guys. It's just a whole bunch of guys. But I think the three that probably come to the forefront, Easton Elledge in the line is just very rare air for a 1A football player in the offensive line in Southwest Iowa. Alex Ravlin's probably making a case as a junior to be maybe one of the better quarterbacks the school's ever had. Joey Anderson, again, kind of a Barry Sanders-style type runner. That's been pretty tough. And then, probably throw a fourth in there with Scotty Pearson. I mean, Underwood's been loaded with depth for a long time, and this year some of those kids are not having to split reps, and they're really getting a chance to shine.
Certainly so. It should be a fun one tonight. We'll take a quick break, but we will be back here. We might have some previews coming up for you. We talked with both coaches, both head coach Nate Mikhailson and also Jeff Casey with Treynor. We could have those coming up for you perhaps at some point. Otherwise, we might take a quick break, and we'll be back for the rest of the pregame here.
Welcome back into Upon Further Review. We're talking now with Tucker Franklin, Kansas City Sports Network. Going to talk some Chiefs, so if you're a Chiefs fan, you might want to sit on the couch and get ready for this therapy session, or maybe you'll need therapy by the end of it. But Tucker, how are things going today, my man?
Hey, they're going great in Kansas City. We're starting to get a little bit of football weather. That's my favorite time of the year once it starts to turn autumnal in Kansas City. You get the colors changing on the trees and everything like that. But we're getting real close to football weather. I just wish it would stay there, because we get there and then it gets warmer. But I just need it to stay football weather.
Chiefs are a mess right now, and Tucker is loving the fall. That's what I love about Tucker Franklin. Maybe I shouldn't say they're a mess, but Tucker, another tough loss last week to the Chargers, 1-2. It's the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he has a losing record, and I think going back to 2015, 2016, since the Chiefs have had a losing record. There's probably no other way to put it than Sunday just sucked, right?
Yeah, it was not a fun football game to watch. It was almost a helpless feeling, especially towards the end of the game there, because Patrick Mahomes still got the ball at the end. The play calling wasn't my favorite with the run on first down. It forces, I believe, a 2nd and 8, which then was an incompletion, which then forced a 3rd and 8, which then Patrick Mahomes felt like he had to go out and make a play. And, of course, you don't want Patrick Mahomes feeling like he has to do that because he did press. He threw that interception. Wasn't a good interception. And that wasn't the only thing that wasn't good for the Chiefs this whole afternoon either, because there were fumbles. There were also another interception by Patrick Mahomes that ricocheted off of Marcus Kemp's hands. We can blame Marcus Kemp. We can blame Patrick Mahomes. That's been a big thing going on Twitter, is whose fault was that interception? Well, really, they both probably share some blame. Did Patrick Mahomes need to no-look pass it? No. Should Marcus Kemp have caught that ball? Yeah, it hit him right in the hands. So there's a little bit of blame on both of the parties there, and I think Patrick would even tell you that. I think Marcus Kemp would even tell you that. So I do think that there is a sense of panic almost in Kansas City. Like, oh no, are the Chiefs actually bad? Has the league figured out this Kansas City Chiefs team? But when I start to think about it, they turned the ball over 4 times and still had a chance to win a football game. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm encouraged by that, and if they can clean up the turnovers and stop beating themselves like they have the past couple weeks, I think this Chiefs team will be just fine.
I do too. I think, we're talking 2 turnovers away. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble. Now, granted, Harrison Butker has to make the kick as well against the Ravens, but in all likelihood, probably 2 turnovers away from being 3-0. And us just kind of, forgetting that the problems they have exist. And we've had this conversation kind of, around the office here this week with the Chiefs. This is who they are. They're an incredibly talented team that is sometimes kind of sloppy. And more often than not, their talent is going to mask that and going to allow them to prevail. But that's just who they are, and it's not always going to do that. You go back to even, the year they won the Super Bowl. There were some, maybe not like in the AFC Championship game, but, definitely the divisional game against the Texans. And then in the Super Bowl, there were some incredibly sloppy moments, but their talent and having Patrick Mahomes at quarterback allowed them to overcome that. And then last year, kind of the same thing throughout the season. There were a lot of games that were really close that maybe shouldn't have been, that they allowed to be close. And then the wheels fell off in the Super Bowl. So as a Chiefs fan, should we just right now be complacent with this is who they are? They're not going to make it easy, but more often than not, the sky isn't going to fall.
Yeah, I think so. And that's something that I think about quite a bit. And when you think back to 2019, the last time we were really frustrated by a Chiefs loss, that Texans loss was infuriating. That Colts loss was infuriating in the regular season. The Titans loss was really frustrating because they had to lead the whole game and then lost it in the last minutes because the offense couldn't really ice the ball. So we kind of see some of the same struggles, and obviously losing has magnified this a whole lot, which I think is good in some ways that they have lost these games. So you can't just gloss over the fact by saying, well, Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback, so they can win every game, which, I mean, is true. But I don't think that it should be an excuse that's used anymore. They've lost these games. You can finally see, okay, this team does have some deficiencies, and it's okay to admit if you are a fan, if your favorite team has deficiencies. I think we were seeing a real hard struggle with that on Twitter. I know it's not a really great place right now, especially in this toxic environment that the Chiefs have lost 2 straight games, and Twitter's not the best place to be on right now. But you can still have fair criticisms about your favorite team and still be a fan of them. I think that's kind of a point that's lost on some people. You don't have to think they're absolutely invincible. And as you mentioned, Trevor, like, this team is what it is. They brought in Josh Gordon, which is a cool signing, a fun signing. I don't know if they're going to bring in anybody on the defensive side of the ball. Steve Spagnuolo doesn't really even like to play rookies, so why would he play somebody who is unfamiliar with the scheme? I don't know. It'd have to be a Spagnuolo vet to bring in and play linebacker, corner. Maybe somebody on the defensive line. I don't know. I don't see that happening, so I think we just have to say, okay, this is what this Chiefs team is. 2018 type defense-esque. I'd like to see them step up a little bit more because I think they have some talent on that front line, but I think it is just better if you rationalize what's going on by
Got the Glee Club up here to sing for us. Need to harmonize a bit.
Here comes your Treynor Cardinals!
One kid got blinded. Whew. Med staff's been busy in Treynor. Whew. Whew.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please join us and direct your attention to the flag as we honor America and those who protect our freedom with the playing of the national anthem. Singing tonight's national anthem are members of the Treynor High School Chorus. Tonight's ensemble features Sarah Hudgel, Addie Schnaple, Maggie Parks, Avi Vista, Zachary Smith, James Vandevanter, Lauren Kalstrup, Lainey Peterson, and Chloe Fryer.
Well, if they start jumping up and down like Virginia Tech, we're in for a ride up here.
I'll say it's going to be bumpy. We got a construction crew in case anything goes wrong over there.
Jeez. Hino's ready to go. Getting some stretches in. I got a good story. I got a lot of good stories about Hino. Shoot.
number 5, Thomas Schwartz, the 5th. Tonight's officials. Referee, Dan Comer. Umpire, John Cole. Head linesman, Mike Anderson. Line judge, Matt Bird. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for some Cardinal football.
Very good. Very good. Well, welcome back. We're just about ready to kick off the first quarter of action. Treynor will be kicking this one off. And the kick is away from Todd Schwartz. It's fielded by
Scotty Pearson.
Scotty Pearson's going to be nailed there at the 20-yard line.
Major collision with him and Todd Peterson from Treynor.
Todd Peterson making the first tackle of the game for the Cardinals. We'll see the Eagles offense now come onto the field under the helm, as you mentioned, by Alex Radley, junior quarterback. Got his first year under his belt last year. He's put up a respectable season so far this year, John.
Yeah, he's been pretty spectacular for the Eagles. I think they've done a good job letting him be a playmaker with his arm and keeping him healthy till the season kind of gets down to the gritty, which tonight is definitely that.
Radlin takes a snap from the gun, looking to his right now, rolling to his right, under heavy pressure there. Caleb Iliff with the pressure, forced a throwaway pass for Radlin.
Yeah, definitely a coverage sack there. I mean, I tell you, Treynor secondary just did a phenomenal job locking up Underwood. Nothing was available, and they got after him.
2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. Radlin the gun once again. Joey Anderson to his right. Takes it, I'm just going to hand it off to Anderson. Anderson bounces it outside, looking outside, able to shake a couple of tackles before he's brought down at around the 25, 24-yard line.
Little different experience for Joey Anderson this week. 5-yard gain on a carry, which is awful nice. Last week he had 5 carries for 190 yards and 4 touchdowns, so a little slower going out the gate here.
3rd and 6 now for the Eagles. Radlin in the gun once again. 3 receivers wide out to his right. We got a flag. Looks like Treynor may have jumped.
Yeah, it looked like that 3-man front from the Cardinals doing a little stemming pre-snap, and they might have jumped in the neutral zone.
They're going to mark off 5 yards real quick for the Eagles. Makes it now just 3rd and 1. Makes it a long third down attempt. Makes it much more convertible now. Radlin takes the snap, going to hand it off to Anderson once again. He's going to bounce outside real far here near the sideline. Makes 2 men miss. Powers through. Gets about to the 3rd down yard line, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's kind of in that neck of the woods where holding might be part of the equation here.
See what the call is. Nonetheless, a great run from Anderson.
If nothing else, the Cardinals have shown early they're doing a nice job stacking up the middle and going to make him bounce more than he's probably done to this point in the season.
It is a holding call against the Eagles. I'll move him back. Make another long 3rd down attempt.
You can sure see early in the first 2 or 3 snaps here, Treynor's going to leave the middle of the field open. Their safeties are playing down in the alley. They're playing wide. The pipes down the middle of the field, that's got to be something the Underwood staff is probably on right now.
It's going to be 3rd and 8 now for the Eagles. Radlin in the shotgun once again. Takes the snap. Looking over the middle to his left. Now here comes the pressure. Gets it away just in time. Is going to be able to connect.
That looks like that'll be a first down to Colin Brandt.
Colin Brandt on the reception. About a 9-yard pickup. Gets it to the 32-yard line.
But again, the Cardinals in there with some pressure. That was a half step away from being another sack on the evening.
Just like that, it's a first down for the Eagles. Radlin in the gun once again. Anderson in the backfield with him is going to take the snap. Looking to his left. Under pressure once again. Having to roll out to his right now. Past the hashes now. Tucks it. He's going to try and run for it. He's going to be wrapped up, though, real quickly by Jackson Schumacher. Name we haven't mentioned yet today, but certainly going to be a name to keep an eye on in this one.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete. Both gentlemen wearing number 3, Scotty Pearson from Underwood and Jackson Schumacher from Treynor, are really elite football athletes here in Southwest Iowa this fall.
Just a 1-yard scramble there for Radlin. In the shotgun once again. Anderson back there with him. He's going to motion Anderson out to his left now. He's going to motion Brandt now across the formation. He's going to fake the handoff. He's going to keep it himself. But a lot of Cardinals are right there on the stop. Middle linebacker Adley Drake, one of the first ones in there. Another short pickup for the Eagles. Treynor's defense standing tall here on this first drive. Another long 3rd down attempt, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, excellent job by Adley Drake staying at home. It would make you kind of wonder if it's signal to the Eagles staff on the Treynor's defensive game plan if he's not sitting home spying what's going on with young Ravlin.
Looks like we're going to potentially take a timeout here, it looks like.
Yeah, Ravlin lost his helmet, and I think by rule he would either have to sit out this next play, or if they take a timeout, he can come back in.
Timeout, Underwood. Keep your starter in there. And nonetheless, John, like you said, Treynor's defense coming out hot in this one. They're staying disciplined. I mean, if they stay at this pace, it could be a really good ball game.
Yeah, I think Treynor early is doing the exact, as a team coming in probably as the prohibitive underdog, they are doing the things early that you have to do to stay in these games as long as possible and hopefully get to the fourth quarter with a chance to get the win in time and pull one out.
As the teams get ready now to come back out onto the field. 3rd and 8 here for the Eagles.
The one thing I'll be curious to watch here as we're going is you see, Treynor this year's gone. They've switched from their 4-4 defense they've ran for years to a kind of more modern 34 that you see about everywhere in football these days. And so, yeah, that 5-man box that they're leaving, I mean, they're really covering down on the slots. They're covering down on the number 1 receivers. One thing that's kind of been a bugaboo for Underwood in tight games, especially in the playoffs over the last few years, is being able to establish the run inside on literally a 5-man box. Treynor's going to test them tonight. You can see that early in the defensive game plan.
Both teams back out on the field. Ravlin's still got to sell it off, but I assume that'll get on here in a second for this 3rd and 8 attempt now for the Eagles. Anderson in the backfield. Looks like a receiver there jumped early for the Eagles. It's Wyatt Baker.
Yeah, that's a tough discipline thing. Those receivers, your job when you get out there, the cadence and all that's just a rumor to you. Your eyes are on the ball. They need to be locked on the ball. And that's always frustrating as a coach. Those are 5 yards to give away that are difficult to watch go.
That'll make it 3rd and 13 now for the Eagles. Ravlin in the gun, going to motion Anderson out to his right now. He's got 3 to his left, 2 to his right. Big 3rd down, takes a snap, looking to his left. Throwing it deep here has Scott Pearson, who's going to take this one all the way.
Yeah.
Breaks free at the 20, 10. No one's going to catch him. It's a touchdown, Underwood.
Really impressive by the Eagles. Converting on 3rd and long. Wow, they've done that twice, maybe 3 times this drive, overcome some self-inflicted stuff. And if you get the ball to Scotty Pearson like that in the open, just fire up the band.
Certainly, that is going to be a connection to keep an eye on. Scotty Pearson able to break away on that, like an out route there, able to take that one to the house. I'm going to set it for the PAT attempt now.
Had to remind the holder what was going on here.
Colin Brandt will be the one to attempt this extra point.
Young man that's had a really excellent senior campaign.
And the kick is up, and it is good. It'll be 7-0 in favor of Underwood now. Just over 9.5 minutes left now to play in this first quarter. And John, like you said for a while there, Underwood's defense, Treynor's defense, real solid, able to really work with that front they had. But then Underwood does what they do. They get the ball in the hands of Pearson, and he makes something happen.
Yeah, I think one of the things, as far as one of Underwood's keys tonight is don't do things that give Treynor hope. Give them an idea that we're going to stay in this, that we're going to hang around. And, boy, when you convert a big 3rd and 13 like that, after a pretty good defensive possession, that's got to be just a small nick early in what Treynor wants to get done tonight.
Certainly. So we'll see Treynor's offense now. We'll run down the starters real quick that we'll see on that Treynor offense. As we mentioned, Jackson Schumacher, you got to watch. He'll be in the backfield for them. They are under the helm at quarterback by Caden Dirks, a junior quarterback. Actually a first-year starter this year, so he's obviously had a pretty solid season so far. As you mentioned, got just as many carries as Schumacher so far this year. And
won himself a battle in the preseason for the job. But that speaks well to the numbers on the team and the development Coach Casey's system is that a 1A program, you have a legitimate quarterback battle all August. They had that here in Treynor this fall.
Sure, Colin Brandt now ready to kick this one away for the Eagles. 7-0 in favor of Underwood, and this kick is away. Back deep to receive for the Cardinals is Todd Pedersen. Ball might have gotten a little loose there, but able to jump back on it. It's Jackson Schumacher.
Yeah, there. Interesting. We opened the game with Peterson coming down to tackle Pearson. And then we turn right around, and Peterson's bringing the ball back, and Pearson tackles him. So those two are getting real friendly right out the blocks tonight.
So along the offensive line for the Cardinals is Caden Iliff, Caden Hill, Dan Gregory, the big 6'5", 220 center for the Cardinals, and A.J. Schultz and Tyler Christensen. Right away, Caden Dirks in the pistol. Is Jackson Schumacher in the backfield. He's going to keep it there and is going to pitch it now, to Jackson, who was coming around on the edge. He'll pick up about 3 yards, wrapped up around the 31-yard line.
Yeah, we're seeing the Eagles early kind of tip their hand on defensive game plan, going more to a one-high safety look as opposed to a two-high, and that's obviously to respect and play assignment and alignment on the option offense the Cardinals run.
2nd and 6 now for the Cardinals. Make a quick substitution. Taking Caden Miller off and bringing in Tom Schwartz now onto the field. Dirks comes out in the pistol once again. 2 receivers out to his left, 2 to his right. Motions now 1 through the backfield. Takes the handoff once again, is going to keep it here, having to avoid multiple Eagles defenders. Makes them all miss, and is able to bounce it outside and pick up about 5 yards.
Slippery. That should have been a TFL for the Eagles, and instead we're going to have a 3rd and 1. These are exactly the kind of downs that Treynor can win. They can possess the ball. They can do the types of things that keep it away from the Eagles.
3rd and 1 now for the Cardinals after that slippery run there from Dirks. Makes it a 3rd and short. Just over 8 minutes left to play. Dirks now under center. Going to motion a man into the middle. Is going to hand it off to, I believe that is Caden Miller, the fullback for the Cardinals.
Yeah, nice little dive there by Miller, the senior fullback for the Cardinals.
First down Cardinals now at about the 42-yard line.
A lot of guessing going on between these coordinators right now. Underwood's playing a defense designed to stop the flex bone, and Coach Casey's kind of got the Cardinals coming out in multiple sets, kind of messing with them a little bit right now.
1st and 10 from the 42. Cardinals come to the line. Dirks in the pistol once again as now is Schumacher to his left. 2 receivers to his left and right. Takes a snap. Looking to his left. Looking for Owen. He's going to be able to make the catch and pick up a good chunk of yards. Gets it to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I remember calling this game down here with Trevor a couple years ago where Treynor had been flex bone all season long. The Eagles come to town. Surprise, we got a little wrinkle offensively for you. So tonight I would say they're doing very much the same thing.
Owen Maska, again, the senior receiver there on the grab. Only 6 receptions so far this year. Make that his 7th. As Dirks comes out under center once again. Tight formation here for the Cardinals. Motion Schumacher in the backfield. Takes the pitch out now here to the near sideline. It's going to be a loss of yards.
Wow, Carter Davis there for the Eagles. Penetrating, scraping. Interesting to run rocket toss right into the alley. There must have been a numbers matchup there that Coach Casey was looking at. Short corner, short field. Made a pretty nice play, an easy play for the Eagles.
Make it 3rd and 4 now for the Cardinals. As you mentioned, this Eagles defense trying to adjust a little bit here. Showing some different looks, as you mentioned. Getting a lot of players involved, though, in the Cardinals offense. Dirks in the pistol once again. Schumacher in the backfield. Motion Schwartz around. The edge is going to keep it, though. He's going to be brought down maybe for a gain of a couple inches there.
Yeah. Yep. Nice play there by host of Eagles. Looked like led by senior Joey Anderson. A lot of pistol option. Continue to see a lot of scheme loyalty to anything going on in Lincoln, Nebraska. You see a lot of slot motion. If you've had a chance to watch the Huskers this year, you see them motioning receivers into pitch relationship a lot. You see Treynor doing that well early this evening.
Tom Schwartz with the punt almost barely gets that one away. Back to field it.
Boy, phenomenal. That ball goes out about the 5-4-yard line. That's just phenomenal. Tom Schwartz is somebody I know takes a lot of pride in his kicking game. Young man had a chance to conversate with up at the Harlan Basketball League some. He's put in a lot of time into his craft, and it certainly looked like it right there.
That's going to set up the Eagles at their own 4-yard line now. Have a long way to go here for that 1st and 10. We just got about 6 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the first quarter. Underwood up 7-0. at the moment. Raveling in the gun, standing in his own end zone. Anderson in the backfield with him. Takes the snap. Looking over the middle. Is going to go deep here as Pearson wide open. And no one's going to catch him. Looks like this is going to be a 96-yard touchdown reception for Scotty Pearson.
Wow. That is the air going out of a few of the balloons hanging around the stadium here. That is probably the best pass protection Ravelin's had all night, and obviously a break in coverage because Scotty Pearson is a guy you don't want loose, you don't want open, especially with 20 yards of space.
So that was something didn't look right there with the Cardinals defense. Pearson wide open, takes it to the house, 96 yards, makes it a 13-0 ball game now in favor of Underwood. So Colin Brent gets ready to attempt his second PAT of the night.
Super deflating. Treynor's played phenomenal with the exception of 2 plays. They've executed so well with the exception of 2 plays.
The extra kick attempt is up, and it is good. Make it 14-0 for Underwood. And as you mentioned, John, story of this game so far, Underwood has taken advantage of a couple of opportunities, and they've made the most of it.
Yeah, you know, we talked there early in pregame about some of the track speed on the field, and Scotty Pearson, Alex Ravelin, those are a couple guys that were really prominent figures in hanging that banner in the gym down at Underwood. And when you get the ball to Scotty Pearson like that in the open, man, it's just over.
Scott Pearson, as I mentioned, state track champion, showing off the wheels there. And really, I mean, we've seen it so far tonight. There's just athletes all over this field tonight, a lot of speed. You know, Underwood may have the size, but Treynor does have quite a bit of speed in their players.
Yeah, well, when you typically see coverage breaks like that, it means you're probably doing some game plan style stuff, maybe some things that are out of the norm of your typical defensive package. You don't have quite the reps that you would have had from the beginning of the season from summer 7-on-7. And, you know, while you're taking some chances defensively with scheme, you do leave yourself open to some bust like we saw in that last play.
Well, Brant ready to kick this one off once again. Schumacher and Pedersen back deep to return. Kick is away. This one's going to be fielded by nobody as it goes out of bounds.
Really interesting kicks from Colin Brandt. We've watched him put it in the end zone more often than not throughout the majority of the season, but we've had a return so far. We've had one kicked out of bounds. You know, we have probably 2 between Schwartz and Brandt. Statistically and everything about them, they are just both phenomenal 1A football kickers. Probably 2 of the 5 best in the state, and we got them here tonight in Treynor.
Treynor looking, gotta think here. You're thinking here, John. What's going through your mind if you're Jeff Casey right now? You're down big. You're down a couple scores early. You need to get some offense going. Obviously, you're going to get decent. Actually, looks like we're going to reattempt that.
Yeah, it does look like we're going to re-kick. You know, if I'm Coach Casey, you know, I'm looking to get this game to 14-7. That's the number one thing on my mind right now. What worked the last series, what didn't, and let's just get this thing to 14-7 and start trading punches. Right now, we've absorbed 2 big ones. We got to throw one ourselves and get back in the contest a bit.
Colin Brand getting set to re-kick this. Schumacher and Pedersen back deep again to return.
Usually you see that 35-yard field position look pretty good, but I think Treynor understands how stingy Underwood's defense is and wants a crack at a kick return here.
Kick is away. This one's going to be fielded by Pedersen about the 15-yard line. Brings it up now past the 30. He's going to be tackled just past the 30. Brought down at around the 32, 33-yard line.
I do find it interesting as much I formation as you've seen out of Treynor so far this season. We saw none on the first series. I do think it's, you know, they've got great personnel to run the eye. The Miller kid at fullback's great. The Schumacher kid at tailback's a phenomenal athlete. It gives you a chance to feature some of your best players.
1st and 10 from the 33 for the Cardinals. Dirks in the gun. Schumacher to his left. 3 receivers out to his left as well. He's going to fake the handoff to Schumacher and keep it himself, but the Eagles are there. It looks like it was
Scotty Pearson
and Chase Ryan.
Yeah.
2 guys on the stop for the Eagles.
It's obviously part of the Treynor offensive game plan. They've been cramming trips to the boundary, trying to create space, trying to create mismatches with formations right now. Underwood's just going 3 for 3 with them down there right now, and Treynor really has yet to capitalize on that. We'll see if they stick with it.
2nd and 8 now for the Cardinals. Dirks in the pistol now. Schumacher in the backfield, trips to the left again. They're going to motion Schwartz, though. They're going to pitch it to Schwartz, who has a little bit of green grass in front of him. But the tackle is made by Alex Ravlin for a short game, but there is a flag on the play. Once again, came from the backfield, and Treynor looks like they might already be walking back, knowing what the call is here.
Yeah, going to be holding on the Cardinals. And the one thing the Eagles have is, Alex Ravlin's not a big man, but he is as fine an open field tackler for a 150, 55-pound kid as I've maybe seen in 20 years. So when he's coming down the alley to take pitch man, Underwood feels really good about that matchup.
It'll be second and about 16 or 17 now for the Cardinals. I'm going to make up some ground now. Dirks now under center. We go fullback Caden Miller in the backfield now. Going to motion Chapman around. But
Coach Casey. But second, see if we can. That's just great coaching, keeping the chains moving for his squad.
Chase Ryan, the offender on that penalty, moves it back to the 41-yard line. Actually, just 2nd and 2 for the Cardinals now. And they'll come to the line. Dirks looks like he'll be under center. Caden Miller in the backfield once again. A couple of receivers to his right. Motion Schumacher into the back is going to pitch it to Schumacher going to the right, but he's going to be met by a wall of Eagles there.
Underwood's coming out of that pile claiming they got the ball. I don't think the fellas in stripes are thinking the same song they are, but
Scotty Pearson and Tyler Jacobson, a couple of the Eagles, and they're in on that stop.
Yeah, it went from 2nd and 2 to about 3rd and 5 here now.
That's what you need if you're Underwood. Make up for a mistake. Get a big stop for a loss there. Makes it 3rd and 5 for the Cardinals. At their own 38-yard line. Dirks in the gun. Schumacher to his left, has trips to his left as well. Takes the snap. He's going to look to his left now. He's going to fake it, though. He's going to try to keep it, as a lot of Eagles got there. Looks like going to be brought down for another. Well, it looks like he might have gotten right back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of 1.
When Joe Anderson makes tackles, he needs to not hide behind Easton Elledge so we can identify the young man, because Easton's going to hide a lot of folks, especially Joey Anderson.
Next to 4th and 7, and Tom Schwartz gets ready to punt this one away. Gets it away. This one will hit the turf before Pearson touches it. It's going to be touched by the Cardinals at around the 37-yard line.
Yeah, this will be as good a field possession as the Eagles have had all night.
Certainly better than the last one they had, but even then, still able to make a huge play. One-play drive last time. We'll see what they do here with you. As you mentioned, some great field position. 1st and 10 from their own 37. Ravlin in the gun. Anderson in the backfield to his right. Takes the snap, looking to his left. Heavy pressure from the Cardinals. Looking for Pearson again. Almost a nice one-handed grab. Looking deep there to Scotty Pearson. They able to come down with it, though. Good coverage from the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's young Alex Ravlin's best decision of the week right there. He's throwing to a superior athlete, which is great, but 2-on-1 coverage, he'll probably want that ball back when they watch film on Monday.
2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. In the gun, takes the snap, going to hand it off to Anderson. Anderson finds the space in the middle, strips off a couple of tacklers before he's finally stopped by Peyton Chapman at about the 46-yard line for a pickup of 9.
Yeah, I've been a little surprised. I don't know the pass-run ratio from the Eagles right now, but they've been heavy pass so far. Now we're getting some assistance, quarterback to running back on tying a shoe.
Anderson needed a shoe tied real quick. 3rd and 1 attempt. Have to go down here. Here we go. Ravlin in the gun. Anderson to his left. Oh, and it gets a
Looks like a free first down coming.
Gets the Cardinals defensive line to jump and gives Anderson a chance to tie his shoe as they mark off 5 yards here for the Cardinals. First down into Cardinals territory now.
I say if he didn't get that shoe tied, they're going to have the AD have a stern talking with the kindergarten teacher on Monday morning.
1st and 10 from the Cardinals 49-yard line. Ravlin in the gun. High snap, unable to handle it. And it's wide open, and the Cardinals pick it up. It's Caleb Iliff who's able to come up with the ball and brings it all the way back to the Eagles' 37-yard line.
Yep. And keys for the game, as I was kind of jotting some stuff down this afternoon, going +2, +3 in the turnover margin, I thought was really key for Treynor to hang around and have a shot. So that's a big opportunity, plus it sets them up in great field position.
A short field now for the Cardinals. Just 37 yards to go for the score. Down 14-0. You think you have to get a score here with this great opportunity.
Yeah, as good a field goal kicker as they've got, they're not far away from having him have an opportunity, if nothing else.
Dirks in the pistol. Gabe Miller in the backfield. Drops back, though, for Dirks. They'll roll to his right. Under some heavy pressure. Able to throw it away, though. Preventing the sack there. Had multiple Eagles bearing down on him. Able to get it away. Makes it 2nd and 10.
I think a smart decision to chuck that ball away because he did. He looked like Carter Davis and Joey Anderson out there getting ready to mess with him a little bit.
Just over 3 minutes left here to play in the first quarter. Eagles up 14-0. A couple of big plays of Scotty Pearson have gotten those scores for them. Cardinals looking to respond now. They come to the line, and Dirks will be in the gun. As Schumacher to his right, trips to his right, just one receiver to his left, takes the snap, he's going to hand it off to Schumacher, who's brought down in the backfield.
Stevie Barnes with a tackle for loss. Had 2.5 of those last week. Check down another one for him here this week. He's not your typical defensive end in a 3-4. I think he's a lightweight wrestler and a darn good one for the Eagles, a state runner-up the last 2 years. And whatever his alignment was there, he nailed it.
Like you said, only 5'9", 154 pounds there for Barnes, but he's making it work.
Well, if the guy across from is 5'11", 220, he's going to have a good night. That was always my philosophy when I was coaching.
All right, Cardinals come back to the line. 3rd and 14 now. Big third down. Dirks drops back, looking to his left, rolling out to his right. He's going to be able to find, I believe that's Miska, senior receiver, able to pick up about 6 or 7 yards, gets into the 29-yard line. Makes it 4th and short, 4th and 2. Do you go for it here, John?
Absolutely. You know you're the underdog. You got great field position. I really like what I see of the slipperiness of that quarterback. I would sure get him on the perimeter with a run-pass option of some capacity and give him the chance to kind of slide to the first down marker with his feet.
4th and 2 from about just past the Eagles' 30-yard line, not quite at the 29. 4th and 2. Dirks in the pistol. Miller in the backfield. He's going to keep it himself, looking for it on the edge. And Alex Ravlin comes up with the stop. It's going to be another tackle for loss for the Eagles.
Yeah, we just talked about how much of a sure tackler Alex Ravlin was. To get a hold of Dirks like that in the alley, wow. I mean, that's a really exceptional play by an exceptional athlete, and that's with all the respect and thought in the world of Dirks. I think he's a pretty talented young man.
Well, just like that, the Eagles back on offense now. Ravlin in the gun, Anderson to his left. Motions Brandt across the formation, going to hand it off to Anderson, who has a space, slips through a couple of tackles before he's brought down by Schumacher around the 43, 42-yard line.
Yeah,
First down.
If I'm calling the Eagle plays right now, it's a steady diet of Joe Anderson for a while. I want to make them change the scope and structure of their defense. They can't defend us with 5 guys in the box. They just have to go after their heart right now with that.
Just over a minute left to play. Up 14-0. Ravlin in the gun. Motions Brandt now across the formation. Once again, he's going to toss it forward, and Brandt has some space. He's able to find the edge and get around it. Schwartz tried to make the tackle before he's wrapped out of bounds.
Yeah, that whole play right there, getting loose on the fly sweep by Brandt there, was created by Schwartz playing probably 3 yards closer to the line of scrimmage than he's used to. It changed his pursuit angles, and it put him trailing as opposed to downhill in the alley.
A.J. Schiltz able to chase down Brandt there. Raveling in the gun once again at their Treynor 29. He's going to keep it this time. Fake the handoff to Anderson. Find some space again there on the left side. Is it going to be enough for a first down? It's close. Looks like they're going to mark him just about a half a yard short or so.
Seeing Coach Richards, the Eagle offensive coordinator, just a little more willing to let Alex Raveling run the ball tonight than we've probably seen most of the season.
2nd and 1 now for the Eagles. At Treynor's 20. This time he's going to hand it off there, but it looks like it may not quite be enough for the first. They're going to mark him 3rd and short.
Looked like Schumacher got in there for the Cardinals, and it's a good thing Anderson's not very tall. If he was a 6-foot kid, he was really going to get leveled there.
3rd and 1. Big stop here, potentially. Gonna motion Pearson in and back out. And they get another Cardinal defender to jump. This time it's Jackson Schumacher who jumped into that neutral zone.
Little disco motion by Scotty Pearson. Disco, I mean, into the center, back out to position, staying on the same side of the motion, and that was enough to get the – I think you could tell Schumacher was wanting off that edge right now. I think that's how he got in on the last play, was speed off the edge.
I like it 1st and 10 now for the Eagles at Treynor's 15-yard line. They're going to hand it off to Anderson out to the left side once again. He's going to shake off the initial tacklers, carrying a man down the field. Anderson showing off the power right there. Makes it about a 6-yard pickup.
A couple impressive things on that play. One, the ability to shed blockers by the Cardinals. They were there at the LOS to make the play, but probably most impressive is just Anderson dragging guys for a while.
It looks like there was actually a flag on the play. We're going to call illegal motion on the offense. He's going to push him back all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Those refs, they got to be a little more deliberate than flags. Can't be hiding them on the sidelines on us. Making our job tough.
They get 1st and 15 now for Underwood. It looks like that'll be the end of the first quarter. Underwood up 14-0 as we hit goose eggs for the first quarter. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back for the second quarter of action here in this Treynor-Underwood matchup.
Digital Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too. For future employment, no experience necessary, we will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us on Facebook.
Welcome back into Upon Further Review. We're talking now with Tucker Franklin, Kansas City Sports Network. Going to talk some Chiefs. So if you're a Chiefs fan, you might want to sit on the couch and get ready for this therapy session, or maybe you'll need therapy.
We'll take jewelry, expensive clothing. If it has a value, it can go in the bucket. We'll put money in the bucket. We'll take coins. Tickets to football games. We'll be back around the second quarter.
We're back now for the second quarter. Underwood, the field flips. 1st and 15 from their Treynor 20-yard line. Raveling in the gun. Anderson to his right. Looks like they might have changed the play there potentially. Anderson moves to the left side of Raveling now. He's going to hand it off to Anderson, but a multiple Cardinals there early. Caleb Iliff once again there on the stop. Anderson able to make maybe a yard out of it, if that.
Seen a deuce set out of the Eagles that time, bringing a tight end down here on the lower part of the screen on the boundary. That just brought some more Treynor Cardinals into the box and kind of muddied the water for them.
2nd and 15 now for the Eagles. Raveling takes a snap, looking to his right. He's able to find Pearson, but he's going to be met immediately
Pass is complete, but
by Owen Meiska, the senior cornerback for the Cardinals. Picks up about 4 yards, makes it 3rd and 11.
Going to take the Eagles getting to about the 5 here to get to a 1st and goal situation. So 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11 type scenario here for the Eagles.
Believe it or not, I believe this is the first time the Eagles are actually in the red zone tonight. Both their scores coming off big plays of at least 20 yards or more.
3rd and long, Treynor lets the boys
Graveline in the gun now as 3 receivers wide to his left. Anderson the backfield. Motion across the field. Rolling out to his left now. Looking to the end zone to Pearson. It's going to be, nearly intercepted there by Carson Elwood for the Cardinals.
Yeah, that'll be one they wish they had back. That put them +2 on the night, right through the young man's hands.
It'll be 4th and 10 from the Treynor 15. They're going to be bringing field goal unit out onto the field. Kicking off that right hash is Colin Brandt.
Looking like about a 32-yard shot here from the right hash. Well within Collins' range.
I believe this is his first field goal attempt of the year. Oh, snap gets away from the holder. Randow's just going to chuck this one deep. Does have a man down there. That's going to fall incomplete, though.
It hasn't really nailed the Eagles yet, but there's been some snapping issues out here. Snapping in their offense, snapping right there. Just some things that are kind of just, taking away from the natural rhythm, the comfort level of the quarterback making his progressions, his meshes. I think, their center, he's a one-way player. I would definitely have him on the sideline right now getting some snaps, just figuring out what little thing are we doing different tonight that's causing these. I haven't seen that all season out of the Eagles.
Got 10 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the second quarter. Treynor now takes over at their own 15-yard line. Dirks in the pistol. I think that's Caden Miller in the backfield. Ocean Schumacher out a little wider. He's out there as well. Dirks takes the snap, drops back, rolling to his right now, throwing on the move there, looking for Schumacher. Unable to connect, though, on that out route.
Treynor does have some numbers matchups when they get out there on the perimeter throwing the ball. It's just a matter, do we have an athletic advantage out there? And that is a hard decision to make right there. There's some very good guys for Underwood. Brandt, Joey Anderson, Scotty Pearson. These are the guys, guys that know what that track up at Drake looks like that are down there covering down your receivers.
It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Cardinals. Have had a little success offensively tonight there in the first quarter. Dirks in the pistol once again. Miller in the backfield. 2 receivers out to his left and his right. He's going to hand it. No, keeps it himself. Oh, the ball comes loose, though. Ball's on the ground. Underwood says they got it. See what the refs decide here.
The result of the run is a fumble. Recovered by the
Treynor ball.
Looks like Treynor's going to keep it, though they are going to fall all the way back to about their own 9-yard line. Makes it 3rd and long now for the Cardinals.
Well, there's a lot to like about Caden Dirks. I mean, he's kind of a Joey Anderson from Underwood version at quarterback. He's shorter statured, he's quick, he's low center of gravity. There's just a lot of things there as an option quarterback that I think the Treynor staff has to like a lot. I can see how the young man came out with the job out of August camp.
3rd and 16, the official measurement here for the Cardinals. At their own 9-yard line. Dirks, that pistol once again. Miller in the backfield. Schumacher and Meiska get wide here to the right. Looking to his left, though. He's going to throw that one way out of reach.
I think the Underwood wrestling team met at the quarterback on that last play. I know if Coach Stevens is here, he's feeling pretty good about his young men because that was a group effort there to get to the quarterback.
Makes it 4th and 16 on that incomplete. Dirks was looking for Pedersen down the far sideline there. Right now Schwartz is going to come out and punt from his own end zone.
This is the part of the field, around midfield, where Scotty Pearson's been pretty electric on returns this season.
This one is away. Pearson's going to field it about the 40. He's going to power through a man. He's got some space. Powers through another man. What a run there from Scotty Pearson.
You don't normally see punt returners with a lot of truck stick action, but boy, we got it twice there.
brings it all the way back to about the Treynor's 16-yard line.
A couple of these girls from Treynor down here wearing jerseys are turning them inside out right now after that return.
Pearson has been the man with a plan tonight for Underwood so far. Just under 9.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Up 14-0. Great field position for the Eagles. Raveline takes the snap from the gun, rolling out to his left, steps forward now, tucks it. He's going to be brought down by Caleb Iliff once again.
Fantastic pursuit there. Really did a nice job taking away what was going to be a really nice broken play for the Eagles.
Raveline able to get back to about the line of scrimmage. Makes it 2nd and 10. 9 minutes left to play. In the gun is Raveline. Anderson to his left. Takes the snap, is going to hand it to Anderson, who is going to be able to pick up maybe a yard there. Again, this Treynor front really has more or less kept Anderson at bay tonight so far.
Absolutely. Right now, the three guys with their hand on the ground from Treynor are having a major impact. And this is as talented a line as Underwood's probably had for a while. So that says a lot about what Treynor's doing.
They get 3rd and 9 for the Eagles. There's a flag on the play, pre-snap. Looks like they're going to call offsides on the Cardinals. That's going to take what was looking like a good drive. Long third down and 10 makes it 3rd and 4 now for the Eagles.
That's got to be frustrating. That's multiple times tonight have we seen the Cardinal defense jump.
Raveline takes the snap. He's going to toss it forward an inch to Pearson. He's going to be stopped immediately. Again, multiple Cardinals.
Yeah, interesting decision by Pearson to cut that thing up early. There's all kinds of space on the perimeter for him to be fast in the open field, and all kinds of Cardinals where he cut it up. That's one I'm sure he'd like to have back.
Caden Hill, one of the first Cardinals in on the stop. Just under 8 minutes now. Raveline in the gun once again. 4th and 3. In motion, Pearson in and then back outside. Anderson in the backfield. Looks like they're maybe having a little trouble to get the play up now. They're going to just power it forward there. Pearson and Anderson trying to lead block there for Raveline. Looks like they're going to mark him short, though.
Yeah, really, really interesting decision. But yeah, I believe Treynor's bowed up and will take over possession here.
And they will. A big stop for Treynor. Able to keep it just a 2-score ball game. Now you get the ball back again. You are in a bit of a tricky spot field position-wise, but nonetheless, you got another chance here with some good amount of time left here in the half.
You know, one of the more interesting things here in this fantastic facility in Treynor, Iowa, there's no play clocks around here. I keep looking for them, thinking that would be something Treynor would want to use to their offensive advantage to kind of grind this thing down, but heck, they're as clueless as what the play clock is as we are.
All we know, just over 7.5 minutes left here in the second quarter. Underwood up 14-0. Dirks will now come out in the gun for the under center, for the Cardinals. Caden Miller in the backfield. In motion, Schwartz across. Dirks is going to keep it, it looks like. He's going to be brought down for a loss of yardage. Eagles able to get in the backfield once again.
I would tell you one thing. I think both coaching staffs would tell you through this portion of the game, it just hasn't been the cleanest effort on either side of the ball. I think you see a lot of scheming going on, maybe some things these teams aren't used to doing, and you're just not seeing them play as fast, as sure, as confident, as mentally clear as you want them to be.
Well, now the Cardinals come to the line once again at their own 4-yard line after the tackle for loss. Dirks in the pistol. They're in the backfield. Going to keep it once again. Tried to find the gap there. The Eagles were clogging everything right there.
Wow, Carter Davis, violent play. And it looks like he must have said something to the ref afterwards, and we got a flag here.
Flag after the tackle. Personal foul. That's a tough call there for you if you're the Eagles right now.
Yeah, Coach McHaleson voicing his displeasure as we speak.
So they almost out by the numbers right now with that call. That would have been a great stop there for the Eagles.
Absolutely.
Now it's
going to have them backed up inside there too.
Give him a tough punt even for a guy like Schwartz. Now it's first down for the Cardinals at their own 19-yard line. A little more breathing room now for Dirks in this offense.
With just over 6.5 to play, Treynor will have first down from their own 20.
You want to be tough, you want to be physical, you want to be aggressive, but there's a line in there that discipline has to play a part of what you're doing.
Dirks in the gun once again. Schumacher in the backfield with him. He's going to fake the handoff, going to keep it himself, and the Eagles are there once again in the backfield.
Looked like Gage Savin on the tackle that time.
Eagles have gotten in the backfield a lot tonight, John.
Yeah, the TFLs are piling up right now on the on the Eagles sideline right now. Caden Dirks, it's been a frustrating 3 or 4 minutes for him.
Just over 6 minutes left to play now here in the second quarter. Dirks, as you mentioned, not been as effective on the ground this game as you'd like to see. He's in the gun now. Schumacher to his right. 2 receivers out to his left and his right. Takes a snap. Looking to the right now. Able to connect with Pedersen, who shoves a man off. But then is met with a whole lot more Eagles as they piled in there.
Yeah, nice run after catch. Some of the things we've seen in the open field out of Scotty Pearson, you see Peterson for Treynor doing the exact same things.
A nice pickup there for the Cardinals. Makes it about 3rd and about 4. Now at their own 25-yard line. Come to the line now. Dirks in the gun. Schumacher to his left. Trips out to his left on the field side. It looks like there's going to be a timeout. Treynor. Short third down attempt coming up for them. Casey likely trying to get a play built up here so they can convert this.
You know, you got 5:17 to go in the half. We talked a little while ago about it's 14-0 Underwood. If you're Coach Casey, you're looking to counter punch, get this thing to 14-7. If they could convert here and drive this thing, drain this clock, get this thing to 14-7 at half, man, you got to feel good if you're Treynor.
Certainly, as you mentioned, just over 5 minutes. You're hoping maybe. Are you thinking here? Are you thinking long drive, trying to drain the clock a little bit? Maybe just make this a one-possession game going into the half?
The longer you possess the ball and grind away at the Eagles, the less time for the Ravlins and the Andersons and the Pearsons and all these fast people to do damage to your defense. So absolutely, possession of the ball is a really big thing if you're Treynor tonight.
You know, as you mentioned before the game, Treynor, that old school type of team, Underwood the complete opposite of that new style. I mean, Treynor would probably love this to be, you know, a 21-7 or 21-24 final. Underwood, they want to run up the score.
Yep. You know, it used to be 20 years ago, the goal was always this. If we can score 21 points, by God, we ought to win the football game. You know, in the modern era, I'm not sure that holds a lot of water anymore.
Team's going back out to the field now. 3rd and 4 attempt for the Cardinals. Big third down here. Will they be able to keep this drive alive? Dirks in the gun. Caden Miller to his right. Going to motion Schumacher in. Makes the handoff to Miller. He's under pressure. It looked like a bit of a broken play, and he's brought down. Sacked by the Eagles.
It's like Stevie Barnes one more time, and they looked like they disco Jackson Schumacher in and then wanted, in that disco motion going back out, wanted to swing the flare pass to him, and somebody from Underwood had crossed the LOS. It would have been a pick 6 had Dirks let the ball go.
Schwartz and the punt team now out. Schwartz gets this punt away from nearly gets run into there. Pearson calls for the fair catch at about midfield. Where the Underwood offense will now set up shop, looking to try and extend this lead now before the end of the half.
I think we kind of want to mention they've got a young man down here in Treynor, 2-year-old named Nixon Quick, and his father, TJ, is one of the coaches on staff down here. Young man fighting cancer. The community here tonight's got a fundraiser going, fighting childhood cancer, collecting funds. Everybody, the coaching staff's wearing yellow bands. Really a neat thing to see in a small town.
Great cause as well, as now Ravlin takes a snap and hands it off to Anderson. Anderson once again not able to find much there, tried to bounce it outside.
And again, that Iliff young man that pursues hard on the backside. You would sure think counter, cutback, reverse, something has got to be in Underwood's game plan, because that's not the first time 52 has been a beast on the backside tracking that sucker down.
Iliff now almost up to, I believe he's at about 3 or 4 tackles for loss already here in this first half.
He's having a game.
Ravlin in the gun. Oceans Anderson to his left. Trips to his left. Fakes the handoff to Anderson. Looking for Pearson, who's going to be able to make the snag at about the 48-yard line, but he's wrapped up by a couple of Cardinals there. Carson Elwood, I believe it was Jackson Top Shorts in there on the stop as well.
Yeah, pretty minimal gain, yard or two. Well, a little surprised Underwood hasn't tried to run their all slants concept, get some all posts, something to get to the middle of the field, because Treynor's clearly providing the opportunity there.
3rd and 7 for the Eagles. Raveling in the gun, takes the snap. Looking to his right, rolling to his right. He's going to dump it off to Anderson. Anderson makes a couple of men miss. He's going to dive for the first.
That'll be close.
They're marking it right at about that 41-yard line, which is where that first down marker is.
Chain gang might get some exercise here.
It looks like they're going to take a moment to
There'll be a timeout for measurement.
Timeout for measurement real quick. They're going to want to double check this and make sure.
I think either way, we're probably in 4-down territory for the Eagles, but
heck of an effort nonetheless from Anderson there. Taking the dump off. That's something maybe Anderson isn't as quite known for this season. Is his ability in the passing game. Does have a few catches for over 100 yards so far this year.
Yeah, he's as tough to tackle one-on-one in space as really anybody in the state. We talked about that Barry Sanders-esque type of running style, and you get him out in the flats with the ball and 1 or 2 guys, that's usually going to be to his advantage.
And it looks like they are going to give the Eagles the first down.
I don't think the down marker guy got the message. Now he did.
There we go. First down for the Eagles. At the Treynor 39, Ravlin takes a snap, looking to his left, rolling out to his right now. He's going to tuck it and run. He's able to make up about 6 or 7 yards. A good scramble there from Ravlin.
Yeah, that's the part of the Eagle offense that I don't think we've really seen featured a lot this year, that I think could be a component that would really make them dangerous come playoff time, come late season time.
Certainly just under 3 minutes now left here in the half. Underwood trying to put together a drive. Ravlin in the gun once again. Fakes the handoff to Anderson, going to keep it himself. He's going to run into a brick wall, though.
Todd Peterson, wow. Stones Ravlin pretty much at the line of scrimmage. Just a phenomenal physical play by the Treynor defender.
A couple of inches maybe there for Ravlin. Makes it 3rd and short, 3rd and 2, the official mark.
At 13, that Peterson from Treynor, he's a football player.
Certainly this Cardinals defense may be a little underrated so far this year. Ravlin in the gun, Anderson to his left. Motions Brandt across the formation, but he's going to keep it now. Runs into his own man, having to avoid some pressure now. Running out to his left. Gets a solid block there on the edge. Another decent one from Brandt. He finds the edge there and able to pick up a big chunk of yards and brings it all the way down to about the Treynor 8-7 yard line.
Here's some of the locals here protesting that block, but it was clean. It was head and front. There's nothing to flag there, and that's why you don't see anything on the field.
A couple of great blocks on the outside from his receivers, and Ravlin able to break away. Makes it 1st and 10. 1st and goal from Treynor's 8. They're going to hand it off to Anderson. He's going to do his thing and make multiple men miss, and he's going to power his way into the end zone from about 8 yards out. Joey Anderson with the 3rd touchdown for Underwood.
Yeah, just phenomenal effort. And Treynor so close to bringing that play, what Underwood calls a trap concept in their offense, what commonly is referred to as counter tray. Treynor followed that very closely. They were within inches of making the play behind the line of scrimmage, but just missed, and the result's an Eagle touchdown.
Well, certainly, if you're Coach Michelson, I think you accomplished your goal there. Bit of a longer drive, drain some time off, and you're going to be able to extend your lead to 3 possessions most likely here as Brandt nails the extra point. Makes it a 21-0 ball game with just under 2 minutes left here to play in the second quarter. Well, and John, what you've seen so far tonight, obviously we've seen a lot of physical football. We've seen a lot of big plays for both teams. Specifically, Treynor's made some really big defensive plays tonight, but Underwood, like you said, they've just been able to take advantage of some opportunities.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about, maybe some of the hesitancy, some of the overthinking maybe by some of the players tonight. This is an emotional rivalry. I mean, for years and decades, while they're pretty friendly off the field, there's also some bad blood off the field. We just haven't seen a lot of fire, a lot of emotion on either side right now. And that's awful interesting because I know when I was growing up, when you got a chance to play each other, that was a big night. That was a big deal. And you know, I've said for a long time, these two communities, as they play each other, you darn well better win that ball game your senior year, or you're going to hear from these folks the rest of your life. And I can assure you that's going on. I can assure you that's part of the backstory here tonight. But you really have seen a pretty clean as far as respect, you know, mutual respect, kind of like the old Nebraska-Oklahoma series back in the day.
Well, certainly you mentioned the big rivalry between these two teams. Underwood up in that series right now, 16-4-3 all time. As Brandt kicks this one away, this one's going to go back into the end zone for a touchback.
That's a little more status normal out of Colin Brandt for the season, what we just saw right there.
Set up shop at the 25-yard line for the Treynor Cardinals now. Just under 2 minutes left. Don't got a lot. I mean, you're thinking this is plenty of time to go down and score if you're Treynor.
Yeah, I continue to look for ways to feature the feet of Caden Dirks. I think they got to find a way to use Schumacher's skills and find a way to get the ball to him just a little more than they have. Peterson's done, I think, what you're looking for, and Dirks has as well. But Schumacher is the athlete that I think, if you're Coach Casey, you got to get in the mix.
Dirks comes out in the gun for under center for his 1st and 10 attempt. And keeps it himself, fake the handoff to Miller. Actually, this is Tom Schwartz, excuse me. He's going to find quite a bit of yardage there. Expects about 5 yards or so.
Pretty phenomenal effort by Scotty Pearson, the outside linebacker away from the play to track that down from behind. That takes a lot of effort and a lot of speed to bring that down from behind.
Makes it about 2nd and 6 now for the Cardinals. Clock ticking away to just under a minute and a half here left in the first half.
Boy, when we were here 2 years ago, Treynor chucked one up from about the 50 with 6 seconds left and scored right before half, which turned out to be the game-clinching points.
Cardinals under center. Schwartz hands it off to Miller. Miller's going to carry a few Eagles with him. About 3 or 4 yards there.
A little fullback trap out of the Cardinals there. Quarterback bellies out and drops it off to Miller, who's really a fantastic personnel fit for what they want to do in their flexible and offense from the fullback position. Looking at the scoreboard here, we need to get the hometown clock. There we go. Now it's 3rd and 3. It was 3rd and 27, so we need to have a little more optimism by the guy running the scoreboard here in the hometown scoreboard right now.
Clock takes down to just about 30 seconds left here in the first half. Underwood up 21-0. Big 3rd and 3 here for the Cardinals. Schumacher in motion. Schwartz hands it off. Oh, my God.
Again, another fullback trap there. You know, a play call that I like a lot on a 3rd down situation, especially late. If you can get your linemen to climb to 2nd level, get hats on hats, slide by that 1st level, those do occasionally. I know this one only went for a couple yards, and maybe the home crowd's wondering what coach is doing. But I've watched those things slide out the back door just like a draw play and go to the house.
The clock is going to hit zeros here for the first half. Underwood up 21-0 over the Treynor Cardinals as we hit the half. And Underwood, as we said, we talked about it just a moment ago, maybe not their typical offense that we've seen from them throughout this year. Nonetheless, still finding some success here.
Yeah, I think everybody will feel a little frustrated with how the first half went, but if you're Underwood in a rivalry game with a lot of gamesmanship going on with the game plans, you still got to feel good about 21-0 at half.
Certainly Treynor's still within striking distance. And obviously Alex Ravlin, something we noticed there, not as effective on the ground. Underwood's defense really sticking it to him right now, getting in the backfield a lot. Jackson, and you mentioned Jackson Schumacher. I'm sure that's something that they'll be thinking about here in halftime.
Yeah, I think that's something that if you're Coach Casey, that you got to be thinking about a bit. You know, I think we really watched as that second quarter kind of kept going. Underwood's defense, really, the TFLs were piling up. I don't have that number in front of us, but it's got to be getting close to double digits.
Certainly so. We'll be hopefully looking for some similar action here in the second half. We'll take a quick break, though. We'll be back here just before the second half of this Underwood-Treynor matchup.
Welcome back into Upon Further Review. We're talking now with Tucker Franklin, Kansas City Sports Network. Going to talk some Chiefs. So if you're a Chiefs fan, you might want to sit on the couch and get ready for this therapy session, or maybe you'll need therapy by the end of it. But Tucker, how are things going today, my man?
Hey, they're going great in Kansas City. We're starting to get a little bit of football weather. It's once it starts to turn autumnal in Kansas City. You get the colors changing on the trees and everything like that. But we're getting real close to football weather. I just wish it would stay there, because we get there and then it gets warmer, but I just need it to stay football weather.
Chiefs are a mess right now, and Tucker is loving the fall. That's what I love about Tucker Franklin. Maybe I shouldn't say they're a mess, but Tucker, another tough loss last week to the Chargers, 1-2. It's the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he has a losing record, and I think going back to 2015, 2016, since the Chiefs have had a losing record. I don't really, man, there's probably no other way to put it than Sunday just sucked, right?
Yeah, it was not a fun football game to watch. It was almost a helpless feeling, especially towards the end of the game there, because Patrick Mahomes still got the ball at the end. The play calling wasn't my favorite. Don't want Patrick Mahomes feeling like he has to do that because he did press. He threw that interception. Wasn't a good interception. And that wasn't the only thing that wasn't good for the Chiefs this whole afternoon either, because there were fumbles. There were also another interception by Patrick Mahomes that ricocheted off of Marcus Kemp's hands. We can blame Marcus Kemp. We can blame Patrick Mahomes. That's been a big thing going on Twitter, is whose fault was that interception? Well, really, they both probably share some blame. Did Patrick? No. Should Marcus Kemp have caught that ball? Yeah, it hit him right in the hands. So there's a little bit of blame on both of the parties there, and I think Patrick would even tell you that. I think Marcus Kemp would even tell you that. So I do think that there is a sense of panic almost in Kansas City, like, oh no, are the Chiefs actually bad? Has the league figured out this Kansas City Chiefs team? But when I start to think about it, they turned the ball over 4 times and still had a chance to win a football game. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm encouraged by that, and if they can clean up the turnovers and stop beating themselves like they have the past couple weeks, I think this Chiefs team will be just fine.
I do too. I think, we're talking 2 turnovers away. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble. Now, granted, Harrison Butker has to make the kick as well against the Ravens. But in all likelihood, probably 2 turnovers away from being 3-0. And us just kind of, forgetting that the problems they have exist. And we've had this conversation kind of, around the office here this week with the Chiefs. This is who they are. They're an incredibly talented team that is sometimes kind of sloppy. And more often than not, their talent is going to mask that and going to allow them to prevail. But always going to do that. You go back to even, the year they won the Super Bowl. There were some, maybe not like in the AFC Championship game, but definitely the divisional game against the Texans. And then in the Super Bowl, there were some incredibly sloppy moments, but their talent and having Patrick Mahomes at quarterback allowed them to overcome that. And then last year, kind of the same thing throughout the season. There were a lot of games that were really close that maybe shouldn't have been, that they allowed to be close, and then the wheels fell off in the Super Bowl. So as a Chiefs fan, should we just right now be complacent with this is who they are? They're not going to make it easy, but more often than not, the sky isn't going to fall.
Yeah, I think so, and that's something that I think about quite a bit. And when you think back to 2019, the last time that we were really frustrated by a Chiefs loss, that Texans loss was infuriating. That Colts loss was infuriating in the regular season. The Titans loss was really frustrating because they had to lead the whole game and then lost it in the last minutes because the offense couldn't really ice the ball. So we kind of see some of the same struggles, and obviously losing has magnified this a whole lot, which I think is good in some ways that they have lost these games. So you can't just gloss over the fact by saying, well, Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback, so they can win every game, which, is true. But excuse that's used anymore. They've lost these games. You can finally see, okay, this team does have some deficiencies, and it's okay to admit if you are a fan, if your favorite team has deficiencies. I think we're seeing a real hard struggle with that on Twitter. I know it's not a really great place right now, especially in this toxic environment that the Chiefs have lost 2 straight games, and Twitter's not the best place to be on right now. But you can still have fair criticisms about your favorite team and still be a fan of them. I think that's kind of a point that's lost on some people. You don't have to think they're absolutely invincible. And as you mentioned, Trevor, this team is what it is. They brought in Josh Gordon, which is a cool signing, a fun signing. I don't know if they're going to bring in anybody on the defensive side of the ball. Steve Spagnuolo doesn't really even like to play rookies, so why would he play somebody who is unfamiliar with the scheme? I don't know. It'd have to be a Spagnuolo vet to bring in and play linebacker, corner. Maybe somebody on the defensive line. I don't know. I don't see that happening, so I think we just have to step up a little bit more because I think they have some talent on that front line. But I think it is just better if you rationalize what's going on by using that.
Yeah, and historically, at least in the last 3 or 4 years, the defense has started slow. 2019 did not start great, if I remember correctly, and got better as the season's gone on. 2020 was maybe the best starting defense, and it wasn't a world beater by any means. So I like to think the defense is going to get things turned around. I mean, no one's asking them to be the 85 Bears or the Steel Curtain. Just get some stops, and it seemed like when they got a stop, which was rare on Sunday, the Chiefs then couldn't capitalize. Like with the Mahomes interception late, the Chargers were able to win the game 30-24. Just man, it was a tough game to watch as a Chiefs fan because everything that could go wrong went wrong, and they still had a chance to win the game. That was the part that I think was the most frustrating. Is there's a little bit of narrative going around the Chargers stopped the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs had over 400 total yards, and they're one of 3 red zone turnovers away from probably the game being a multi-touchdown margin for them. So we'll just have to see. It's maybe a little concerning right now. Definitely when you look around the AFC West, and the Broncos are 3-0, and the Raiders are 3-0. Grant, the Broncos haven't really played a tough schedule. The Chiefs in a 2-game hole early on, not what you want. Tucker, you touched on the Josh Gordon signing. I want to touch on it real quickly as well. I think everybody knows about Josh Gordon's personal issues, but when he's been on the field, he has been a phenomenal player. He's been a good player. He was phenomenal early in his career in Cleveland. This really for the Chiefs is kind of, that they can't lose in this, right? If things don't pan out with Josh Gordon, it was a pretty team-friendly deal. And if Josh Gordon returns to 2013, 2014 Josh Gordon, the Chiefs offense has another weapon.
Yeah, it's kind of like a low-risk, high-reward move. The Chiefs, once again, for the 3rd straight year, have pulled off a move like this. This one earlier than the other moves that they pulled off, and LaShawn McCoy and Le'Veon Bell, those were both kind of the same vibe I get from those moves. But I feel like this Josh Gordon move is a little bit different. Josh Gordon has said that he doesn't feel like this is a 8 to 10 month rental. He sees a future long term with the Chiefs. The Chiefs also see a future long term with Josh Gordon. If he can stay clean, as Stephen A. Smith says, stay off the weed, they don't really check that anymore. So, I guess he could be on it if he really wanted to. This last suspension he was on was for PEDs. That's kind of the biggest thing is he's had a hard time staying on the field. But, man, when he's on the field, he's pretty dynamic. And yesterday on the KCSN Discord, Matt Lane and Craig Stout were doing a little film breakdown of some Josh Gordon snaps from when he was with the Patriots. And golly, he looked sharp. He looked crisp. He looked good. And I know that that's still a couple of years ago. He went to the Seahawks, kind of struggled to stay on the field with the Seahawks as well. But, man, I just think that, if he can come in, learn this offense, and be just another guy defenses have to account for, that would be huge for Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Right now, there's not somebody else the defenses have to account for. Sammy Watkins was really good about that, right? Sammy Watkins could make plays when he was on the field, and also when he was on the field, they had to put at least a guy on him. You had to cover Sammy Watkins or he was going to beat you. And you're going to have to do the same thing with Josh Gordon. Gordon's going to burn you. He's going to run those deep intermediate routes. He's going to run deep balls. He can go up and high point a ball. He's really athletic. He's still really good. He's stayed in shape, everything like that. But I think that's encouraging to see that the Chiefs recognize they have a deficiency early. And they recognize, okay, we have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Those are our 2 main targets. And then that's essentially it. Nobody else the defense really has to account for. So they went out and got somebody the defense has to account for.
Eagles this week, they got clowned by the Cowboys Monday night. The Cowboys, I think, are a really, really good football team. But they just got bullied. Now, that's not necessarily the Chiefs style to bully anybody. But you've got a Chiefs team that's coming off a couple of bad losses. The sky is falling in Kansas City, or at least it maybe feels like that to some people. Tucker, I think this is maybe a blowout on Sunday. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope I'm right, and if I am wrong, should there be panic?
I don't know. It's still only week 4, but it won't be good if the Chiefs don't blow out a team as
I was
don't want to say
saying a
as
win
bad
in
as the
general.
Eagles, but yeah, no, it has to be a win. I think it has to be a win. If it's not a blowout, oh well, win's a win. Count in the win column the same. If it's not a win, I think that there's something seriously wrong. Because this Eagles team is, frankly, not good. Jalen Hurts is still kind of struggling back there because he can't set his feet because he has 3 backup offensive linemen. Now, I love Landon Dickerson. I think he's playing great this season, but he has 3 other backups along the line with him, so that's tough for them. Sirianni kind of got dealt a tough hand going up there. I like Sirianni as a coach. I think he's a good guy. I think he's in Kansas City for a bit. I think he might be in that Reed coaching tree. But I like him. I like the situation they've got going on there. Devonta Smith is a fun pick for them. He scored me a few points in the fantasy league early on. But I really don't think that they should have a shot against this Chiefs team. And that's with all due respect to Philadelphia, right? I think that they are what they are at this point. They're not a contender. They struggled to a Cowboys team, which frankly I think is going to be a good football team. I think this Cowboys team is going to be good. Matt Lane pointed out on the KC Laboratory this morning that this is the second time the Chiefs faced. So the Cowboys played the Chargers just before the Chiefs did, and now they're going to play the Eagles, who the Cowboys just played. So it's interesting to gauge where the Chiefs are to the Cowboys, who I think could be a contender in the NFC. But yeah, if they don't win against this Eagles team, there's going to be some alarm bells going off for me.
Yeah, I might have to delete Twitter if that happens, because one for me and two for my timeline and the people that follow me, that might be a terrible, terrible idea. But we'll just have to see. Hopefully not. Tucker Franklin, Kansas City Sports Network. Always a pleasure, Tucker. Hopefully when we talk next Thursday, the mood will be a little better.
My goodness, I sure hope so. Thanks for having me on.
Welcome back into Upon Further Review. We're talking now with Tucker Franklin, Kansas City Sports Network. Going to talk some Chiefs. So if you're a Chiefs fan, you might want to sit on the couch and get ready for this therapy session, or maybe you'll need therapy by the end of it. But Tucker, how are things going today, my man?
Hey, they're going great in Kansas City. We're starting to get a little bit of football weather. That's my favorite time of the year once it starts to turn autumnal in Kansas City. You get the colors changing on the trees and everything like that. But we're getting real close to football weather. I just wish it would stay there, because we get there and then it gets warmer. But I just need it to stay football weather.
Chiefs are a mess right now, and Tucker is loving the fall. That's what I love about Tucker Franklin. Maybe I shouldn't say they're a mess, but Tucker, another tough loss last week to the Chargers, 1-2. It's the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career that he has a losing record, and I think going back to 2015, 2016, since the Chiefs have had a losing record. There's probably no other way to put it than Sunday just sucked, right?
Yeah, it was not a fun football game to watch. It was almost a helpless feeling, especially towards the end of the game there, because Patrick Mahomes still got the ball at the end. The play calling wasn't my favorite with the run on first down. It forces, I believe, a 2nd and 8, which then was an incompletion, which then forced a 3rd and 8, which then Patrick Mahomes felt like he had to go out and make a play. And, of course, you don't want Patrick Mahomes feeling like he has to do that because he did press. He threw that interception. Wasn't a good interception. And that wasn't the only thing that wasn't good for the Chiefs this whole afternoon either, because there were fumbles. There were also another interception by Patrick Mahomes that ricocheted off of Marcus Kemp's hands. We can blame Marcus Kemp. We can blame Patrick Mahomes. That's been a big thing going on Twitter, is whose fault was that interception? Well, really, they both probably share some blame. Did Patrick Mahomes need to look past it? No. Should Marcus Kemp have caught that ball? Yeah, it hit him right in the hands. So there's a little bit of blame on both of the parties there, and I think Patrick would even tell you that. I think Marcus Kemp would even tell you that. So I do think that there is a sense of panic almost in Kansas City, like, oh no, are the Chiefs actually bad? Has the league figured out? But when I start to think about it, they turned the ball over 4 times and still had a chance to win a football game. That doesn't happen very often. So I'm encouraged by that, and if they can clean up the turnovers and stop beating themselves like they have the past couple weeks, I think this Chiefs team will be just fine.
I do too. I think, we're talking 2 turnovers away. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble. Now, granted, Harrison Butker has to make the kick as well against the Ravens. But in all likelihood, probably 2 turnovers away from being 3-0. And us just kind of, forgetting that the problems they have exist. And we've had this conversation kind of, around the office here this week with the Chiefs. This is who they are. They're an incredibly talented team that is sometimes kind of sloppy. And more often than not, their talent is going to mask that and going to allow them to prevail. But that's just who they are, and it's not always going to do that. You go back to even, the year they won the Super Bowl. There were some, maybe not like in the AFC Championship game, but, definitely the divisional game against the Texans. And then...
And we are back here in Treynor, Iowa for this Class 1A District 8 match between the Underwood Eagles and the Treynor Cardinals. Underwood up 21 right now as we get up ready to kick off the second half of action here. Nathan Hewitt here with John Tarks. John, as we talked a little bit about before the break, obviously a little bit unconventional the way we've seen Underwood able to put up some points tonight, but what are some of your big takeaways from that first half of action?
Well, just how the Underwood defense really came on and kind of took over the game throughout the second quarter. I would imagine Treynor's total offense in that quarter was pretty low. Some of the first downs Treynor was able to manufacture kind of come via penalties. So, I think one of the real big keys here for Treynor, if they're going to have an opportunity to get back in this thing, is Jackson Schumacher. They got to get him in space. They got to be able to feature him the same way Underwood's featured Scotty Pearson and take advantage of his talents, I think.
Schumacher really only had maybe about 3 or 4 touches tonight. Not a lot of action for him. Probably not as successful on the ground as he's been this season. We mentioned obviously Treynor's defense has been able, outside of a few plays, has been really sound. What do you think defensively they can do to potentially limit some of those big plays here in that second half?
Well, you got to find Scotty Pearson. That's been really the biggest problem for him is, I would almost, tell Schumacher to go find Pearson and you two just become real good friends this half, But you got to stay with him the entire play. The really hard part is where Pearson's gotten loose. It's been late in the play. I really think that the line situation, Treynor's held up pretty well on the lines, especially on the defensive side. With maybe not quite as talented a group as Underwood's playing with.
Underwood will kick off for the second half. Colin Brandt ready to kick this one away, and it's off. Schumacher and Pedersen back to return. Pedersen's going to field it. Muffs it, though. Hits the turf. He's able to pick it up, though. Finds a gap here down the near sideline. Tiptoeing a little bit. He's able to bring it all the way to about they're going to walk it back a little bit there. Well, they might have stepped out there instead of tiptoeing. It's going to mark him down at about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, I think Josh Ravlin for the Eagles made a tackle that he's not going to get credit for because the sideline beat him to it.
Well, and Treynor takes over offensively now at their own 27. 1st and 10. Looking to start the second half off right offensively. It is Tom Schwartz in at quarterback. I formation here, Miller, fullback. Schumacher in the backfield. Schwartz looks like he's going to keep that one himself. Hand it off to Caden Miller, the fullback. He's going to power it up for about maybe 3 yards or so.
Little inside veer, B-gap option look here to the sidelines. Underwood's gotten away all year playing the young Baker kid at inside linebacker, which against spread offenses is a good fit. But when you get a traditional fullback like Caden Miller coming downhill on him, that's going to be advantage Treynor, advantage Miller every time.
Miller actually the leading carrier for this Cardinals offense. 58 carries on the year coming into this game. I formation once again for the Cardinals. Schwartz under center. Miller is still in there at fullback, and Schumacher in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to Miller once again. One guy gets there in the backfield, but he's able to spin off and pick up another couple of yards there. Gets it up to about the 34-yard line.
Yeah, Carter Davis on the blitz comes through, makes contact about 1 to 2 deep, but he comes in high. And with a fire engine, fire plug type of player like Caden Miller, you better come a little lower than that. And your traditional fire plug type of fullback like he is. That might be a record for fire references on a fullback in a football game there, coincidentally. But irregardless, 3rd and 4 here for the Cardinals.
3rd and short, as you mentioned, for the Cardinals. Coming out of the I formation once again. Schwartz under center. Miller and Schumacher in the backfield. Schwartz is going to keep it this time. Takes it out on to the right side. Able to pick up maybe half a yard. It's going to remain 4th and short now. Looks like they're going to bring out the punt team here. Maybe a little risky there.
Yeah,
at this point in the game.
Makes you wonder what has happened to Caden Dirks. Maybe he got with the trainer at halftime. Maybe they went through some protocols and identified an injury that maybe he was toughing his way through. As we do watch Caden Miller, Treynor's fullback, kind of limping off the field here as the punt takes off.
Scotty Pearson back to field this one. He's going to let it bounce in front of him. Picks it up at about the 27, shakes a couple of men off. It's going to be brought down at the 42-yard line by Danny Kinsella.
Excellent open field tackle. Got a flag of some capacity here that not totally sure what this is going to be.
See what the call is.
Yeah.
They're called an illegal block on the back on the Cardinals.
Those are frustrating calls when you're, 10 to 15 yards behind the play blocking. Just discipline out of your kids. You always coach them, don't block behind the play. If the ball's past you, hustle behind, see what you can do, but don't block behind the play. They're just needless penalties and little discipline things that can make a big difference.
It's going to take Pearson's return back to the 30-yard line. 1st and 10. Raveling in the gun. Hands it off to Anderson. Anderson shakes off a tackle. Able to get back to about the line of scrimmage, but that's it.
Yeah. Kind of status normal for the night. Anderson's had a few chances to squirt through, but by and large, the Treynor defense has met him at the line of scrimmage, made him jump cut on his side of the LOS, and that's not something he's done much all year long.
2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. Raveling in the gun again. Fakes the handoff to Anderson. Able to find Pearson on the slant, who's going to take it about to the 47-yard line.
Really nice call by the Eagles. When the middle linebackers are as committed to the line of scrimmage and the run game as trainers are, that little slant right behind them is an excellent call by Coach Richards.
That's definitely something you mentioned there as we got to the end of the half. Not enough slants for the Eagles so far tonight. We see it right there. Raveling in the gun once again now on 1st and 10. Over the middle of once again now. Able to find
Jack Van Fossen.
Van Fossen's first reception of the game. Once again found on that slant over the middle.
We got another penalty flag here. Thrown by the line judge on the Underwood sideline. And again, not a lot of clarity in what we got going here.
See what the call is officially. And they're walking back. Eligible receiver downfield there for the Eagles.
Must have had two guys on the line, and I'm guessing Jack Van Fossen, the guy that caught the ball, was the ineligible party.
We'll make it 1st and 15 now for the Eagles at their own about 42-yard line. Raveling in the gun, Anderson to his right. Going to hand it off to Anderson. Anderson able to bounce out, make a man miss. He'll pick up about 3.5 yards there on that carry.
Nice tackle there. First contact by Caden Miller. Bounces off and finished off by Adley Drake for the Cardinals. Sets to Underwood up about 2nd and 12.
Clock ticking down to about 8.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. 2nd and 12. Raveling takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Able to find Pearson over the middle on the slant, who bounces off a man. And then Jackson Schumacher able to chase him down from behind and brings him down at about the Treynor 40.
Boy, those slants that we talked about in the second quarter, Underwood is really after them now. There's just a physicality that Scotty Pearson brings to that slot you're just not used to if you're a defender for Treynor.
1st and 10 for Underwood. Raveling in the gun. Has Anderson to his right, two receivers to his left and his right. Takes the snap, looking to his left, pump fakes, rolling out to his left now under pressure, lobs this one up, looking for his man. I think he was looking
for Mason Boothby, the sophomore receiver. That's a name baseball-wise I think the Wick is used to. I know they're going to get to know him basketball-wise this winter, and As a few more of these upperclassmen get diplomas around Underwood this spring, he'll be a key figure on the football field as time marches forward, too.
Going to make it 2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. At the Treynor 40, Raveling in the gun once again. Anderson in the backfield motion. Pearson across the formation. Hands it off to Anderson. A little jump cut to the right there and pick up about 6 yards on the carry. One of his bigger runs tonight for Anderson.
Yeah. You know, Thomas Hunnicky, junior lineman for the Eagles, really pulling, wrapping on that, taking the Treynor defender 10, 12 yards downfield and pancaking him. It's no mystery when you have gashing runs like that, when you have blocking like that.
Eagles get back to the line quickly, and a little pitch there forward to Pearson. On the sweep, he's able to pick up about another maybe 3 yards there.
Yeah, excellent pursuit by Adley Drake there for the Cardinals. That young man's had a nice half so far, making a few plays already. Be 4th and 2 now.
4th and short certainly seems like 4th down territory, and they're going to go for it. Alex Avalon in the gun. 2 receivers to his left and his right as Anderson in the backfield with him. Looking to the sideline, getting the play. Clock ticking down, takes the snap, takes the handoff to Anderson, looking and able to find Josh Van Fossen once again. Eagles come up with a clutch 4th down conversion there and get it down to about the Treynor 24-yard line, 23-yard line.
Much like Boothby, Jack Van Fossen, that's the name the WIC Conference probably knows already, and they're going to get to know well.
1st and 10, Raveling in the gun. 3 receivers out to his left, looking to the left. Now he's going to go back to the middle. He's able to find his receiver there.
Wow, what a cool concept. Scotty Pearson again on a slant. A little flat underneath that sucker with a slant coming sharp behind it. Execution by the Eagle receiving corps there, really top-notch.
Eagles attacking now in the red zone, just inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal. Raveling in the gun as trips out to his left once again. Anderson in the backfield. Takes the snap, is going to hand it to Anderson. Anderson finds a hole. And able to power it up to about you're marking it down at about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're watching some RPO action out of Underwood where we got the mesh going with Anderson and we're watching that slant come behind. If we're committed to the box, we're over the top with the slant. If we're on the slant, we're committed to the run. But that might be what the Eagles are running right now.
2nd and goal now. Motion Pearson across the formation. And a fake it to Anderson, looking over the top. And they find Josh Van Fossen. Who else? The man who's been getting all the touches this drive picks up the receiving touchdown.
Yeah. Van Fossen, the son of Eagle baseball coach Andy Van Fossen. That's a young man that'll play in the post a lot this winter. He had an outstanding summer pitching the ball, and he's a young man that's got a lot of potential going forward.
Colin Brandt now lining up once again with PAT. Able to knock that one through. Makes it a 28-0 ball game. He was just under 6 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Take a quick break here. We'll be right back, though, for the next drive here of the 3rd quarter with just under 6 minutes left.
You can fill them with pretty much anything orange monetary value we will take. It goes to a big cause.
Your keys, your jewelry.
And the rest of the Quick family, as well as towards Angels.
Well, the Eagles now ready to kick this one away. Colin Brandt, Jackson Schumacher, and Josh Pedersen back deep to return. This one is off. Going to Pedersen once again. Fields it at about the 10. Brings it up now past the 30. Able to Brought a couple of Eagles defenders to about the 39, 40-yard line there. A great return there from Josh Peterson.
Yeah, I'm sure the Eagles staff will see that on film, and Coach Williams, our special teams coach, will look at just the lack of lane discipline there. I'm not sure Treynor blocked that well, but I'm confident Underwood ran themselves into a nice hole for him to run through.
The Cardinals will set up shop now at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10, just under 6 minutes left here in the third quarter. Tom Schwartz still in at quarterback. In the gun now as Caden Miller to his right, has trips out to his right as well, takes the snap, rolling to his right now. Looking for his man, unable to connect there. I believe he was looking for...
I'm having a hard time picking that number up,
that was
too.
Todd Pedersen.
Yeah.
That he was looking for there.
He's got his yellow wristband low. That's kind of the telltale on him. I sure hope everything's okay with Caden Dirks. We don't see him on the sideline. Haven't seen him anywhere in sight here in the second half.
2nd and 10 now for the Cardinals. Schwartz under center in the I formation is going to pitch it now to Schumacher, who's going to be met in the backfield by a pair of Eagles there.
That is a lot of humanity. I formation, a little bit of a bunch wrinkle there to the boundary. Pitch it, toss it into the boundary. Underwood with a lot of guys at the LOS. It'd sure be an opportune time in our first second down, maybe a second down scenario for Treynor to hit that on 2 and try to get some cheap yards out of Underwood. Because right now, they're just in the LOS quicker than they can be blocked out of the LOS.
Tyler Jacobson, it looked like Stevie Barnes, a couple of the Eagles there in on that stop.
Yeah, even corner Chase Ryan got in the mix there.
3rd and 13 now. Big third down. I formation once again. Schwartz under center. Hands it off to the big old fullback, Caden Miller. He's going to power for about a yard.
Well, I tell you, I said in the first half the Peterson kid, number 13 from Treynor, was a football player. And when you see receivers getting pancake blocks on the perimeter, that just verifies that statement. I really like that kid. He looks like an all-district type of receiver, all-district something. He's sure the kind of football player I like to watch.
Looks like we're going to see a timeout here before this 4th and 13 punt for the Cardinals. Just under 4.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Well, and you mentioned there, Jackson Schumacher able to get the carry there. Didn't see a lot of him in the first half, and so far, Eagles defense, as you mentioned, they have just been on him so far in the second half.
They have split him out. They have done a good job. But, Trainor's staff has moved him around. Underwood's just been up to the match as far as countering him. While Schumacher's special for Treynor, Underwood's got about 4 or 5 of him that they can cover him down with really a number of guys. So I think that's part of why you're seeing them have a hard time get loose this evening.
A lot of negative yards forced by Underwood tonight. Penetrating really well into the backfield. Tom Schwartz now getting ready to punt this ball away. He's set up at about his own 21 and looks like deep to return now.
I believe that's Boothby for the Eagles.
Boothby is back deep for the Eagles. Schwartz takes the snap, gets this one away. A bit of a line drive here. It's going to bounce around the 35, and it's fielded by Boothby at around the 25. Makes a man miss, finds the edge, gets to about the 40, 45 before he's pushed out of bounds by the Cardinals. Good return there from Boothby, his first of the night.
Treynor staff, probably rightfully so, looking for a block in the back. They were close, kind of 50-50 calls, as I like to call them, and when you're trying to get in the hunt, you need a few of those to come your way, and they just didn't.
Well, just 4.5 minutes left here in the third quarter now. Underwood up 28-0 on offense once again. Great field position at the Treynor 47.
Kind of a critical juncture in the game. You make this 35-0. I think you see a fourth quarter dominated by the guys in blue.
Certainly be big here for the Eagles to get some more points on the board. Rattling in the gun. Anderson in the backfield, 2 receivers to his left and his right. Another bit of a high snap, but able to field it this time. There's a flag on the play, and was looking for Josh Van Fossen once again there over the middle. We'll see what the penalty here is for.
Boy, that's wild. There's not a pass interference call there. That contact was a solid. I think the ball was halfway to him when the contact was made.
Fossen was pretty draped there. It's going to be a penalty on the Eagles.
They probably saw the holding flag and thought, why waste mine throwing mine out?
Sets them back now all the way to their own 27-yard line. 1st and 20 now for the Eagles. Raveling in the gun. Anderson in the backfield takes the snap, rolling to his left now. He's going to fire this one over to the far sideline. Able to hook up there with Van Fossen.
Yep,
Who else?
Jack Van Fossen. And you're seeing the youth movement out here. The sophomore class, 3 of the 4 receivers right now. Josh Raveling, Mason Boothby, Jack Van Fossen. A lot of depth, a lot of talent. That sophomore class, I know to a man, the Eagle staff would tell you, they've got more juice out of them this year than they anticipated.
4 receptions down this half for Van Fossen, one of them a touchdown. Raveling takes a snap in the gun, looking to his right, looking for his man.
Older brother to younger brother, Alex to Josh.
Josh Raveling on the reception there, picks up a solid chunk of yards. Makes it 3rd and 2 now for the Eagles.
Won't find a better competitor than Josh Raveling. Quick-witted, competitive, just a lot of fun to watch.
Raveling in the gun once again for this 3rd and short attempt. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Anderson, pumps fakes a little bit, rolling out to his left now. He's going to try and tuck it. No, he's not going to tuck it. He's going to throw it. Able to find Boothby. He's going to make a man miss and take it all the way to the house down the far sideline. But wait just a minute. Once again, there's a flag down. It's in the backfield.
Man.
Let's see what the call is.
I think they're going to call him for being over the line of scrimmage, and I'm not overly confident they got that right.
That was right at line of scrimmage, right at the 45. Looked like he might have, I don't know, I'm thinking he might have been behind there.
Yeah. It was certainly one to be looking for because it was close. But the Eagle staff, you can see their assistant standing where he threw the ball from. One of those 50-50 calls. It's just important to make sure you get more of those than you lose.
Be 3rd and long now. The Eagles came out in the pistol there, but whistle before the snap.
Looks like the Eagle staff's going to send this one to the booth for review. Sarcastically speaking. I'm not sure what we're talking about down here in the field. If this don't pick up, we're going to need to bring the Treynor band back out here. That was the best performance we've seen all night, that halftime show.
Certainly so. Now we're here in the pistol. Raveling going to fake the handoff. Steps up in the pocket, avoiding the pressure, moving out to his left. Makes another man miss. I think the ball. Well, Raveling a little slow to get up now. He's hit pretty hard there from behind. Came down pretty hard.
Well, Schumacher. He can play a little football, too. That was a nice stick. It was an excellent hustle play from behind.
Raveling looked like he might have been able to extend the play out there, but as you mentioned, multi-sport athlete Jackson Schumacher able to chase him down and make the tackle.
Well, these boys in Treynor, they can run a little bit, too.
It looks like they're going to bring out the punting unit now. Make it 4th and 7 out at midfield.
First time we've seen the Eagle punting team tonight. It's like Peyton Chapman for the Cardinals deep. He was the matador in our halftime performance. Some sort of bull, kind of Three Amigos looking deal. Had dancing with some gal down here. Had a heck of a performance.
Anderson with the punt. High one here. Be called for a fair catch. It is touched, though. It's touched. Fair catch. It was touched by, I believe you said it was Chapman who was deep there.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Let's see if there is a flag on the field as well.
Chase Ryan kind of clipped in front of him. I know the halo rule don't exist any longer, but that might be kick-catch interference of some capacity. If not, it's Underwood ball.
Looks like there's 2 flags on the field, actually. Well, bit of a hectic punt attempt there.
Refs are throwing flags at each other right now.
Just under 2.5 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Refs having a little chat right now, trying to figure out what the heck happened.
Well, looks like body language is going back to kick it again, it looks like.
Potentially offsetting penalties, potentially.
I don't have the faintest idea what that call is on Treynor.
Hey, I'm not sure what that was.
It was like a legal fair catch, which I don't get, but
it will. Nonetheless, we will see another punt attempt here from Joey Anderson. 4th and 7 from about midfield. Chapman back deep once again to return. Standing about around the 20-yard line. Punt is blocked. This one goes straight up in the air, and it's not quite fielded in there. It's going to roll to about the. And it's recovered by. That's recovered by Underwood.
Wow, that's wild. That, I can't say as though I can ever recall seeing one quite like that. Was the ball blocked? It had kind of the idea it was, but it looked like it. Did it go off an Underwood guy? As the refs are initially spotting this, they're spotting it as though it was not touched by Treynor in the block. Treynor's the first person to touch the ball as the returning team. They fumble the return, Underwood recovers. That's how they've got this right now. But we're having a heck of a conference with the Zebras right now.
It's been an eventful past few minutes here. Refs have been making their money's worth here tonight in these last few minutes.
Even the staff and players from both teams, they're not sure who should have the ball right now. You don't see anybody arguing a thing.
As you mentioned, there obviously was a Treynor player who was able to get back there, but there also was that Underwood player who was right there as well. So we'll see what the official call is. Everyone's just kind of huddling around at the moment.
I think the hometown crowd, they've certainly voted on how they think this should go. This looks like they're going to give Coach Casey news he didn't want to hear.
And it looks like from the way the teams are on the field at the moment, at least. Looks like they're giving the. Oh wait, we're seeing.
If we can just get both defenses or both offenses out there, that'll add to the confusion of the moment.
We'll see what the official lineup here is. It's still having a lot of chats all over the field right now.
If we can get two of both out there. Have you seen those TikTok videos where they call two Chinese restaurants and got them talking to each other on the phone? You want to order? Do you want to order? No, I called you. No, you called me. That's what it looks like out here right now.
And, a lot of talking back and forth because, as you mentioned right now, it looks like they're going to give Underwood the ball, a first down here around their own 38-yard line.
Boy, if you're Coach Casey, it's just not quite your night when you have a scenario like that. I've never seen that before.
I think it's a first for a lot of people here tonight.
Well, I thought it was sure odd. The Underwood kids were pointing like they got the ball, and I thought, you fools don't know what's going on. The fool was the guy up here looking at it. They knew what was going on. Well, now we're talking about it again because we still don't know.
Man, it is certainly an interesting situation. Both teams are kind
of talking it up right now. What you doing this weekend, Are you still dating such and such for this school, Those are the conversations out there right now.
I'll tell you, with the amount of football players we saw in that marching band, a lot of them are going to be headed up to Clarinda this weekend.
Got that right. We counted 19, and it took us a while to get to 19. Really, as fine a halftime performance as I've seen ever by a high school music department with 19 football players. I think we saw Peyton Chapman out there. We saw Tyler Christensen out there, Kyle Moss. I think that's cool. I mean, I'm a football guy as much as anybody, but band and all those extracurriculars are a huge part of the high school experience. It's neat to see Coach Casey work so well with the music department here in Treynor.
Well, it looks like they might see what they do here.
Does look like Treynor's going to get the rock here.
Indeed, it looks like that as Tom Schwartz now heads out into the huddle. It'll be 1st and 10. Treynor ball now at the Underwood 38.
I'm not sure they're right, and I'm not sure they're wrong, and there's nobody arguing anything right now.
I'll say no one's really a lot of screaming going on. So 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Schwartz in the gun, has Caden Miller to his right. Takes the snap, drops back, looking to his left. Going deep to his left now. Looking for Pedersen. It's going to be picked off by the Eagles.
Chase Ryan, number 38, senior corner. Kid with sneaky speed. He just kind of fair caught the ball almost.
Looked like it might have been just a little bit of an overthrow there from Schwartz, and Ryan there will make the play. First pick of the season for him today.
Yeah, probably some of the better pass protection Treynor's had in a few quarters, so it's unfortunate that turns into an interception for the Eagles.
Just over 2 minutes left now here in the third quarter. Underwood still at 28-0. Had a big turn of events, a bit of chaos there, and Underwood able to get the ball right back anyways now. 1st and 10 from about their own 11. Adams going to keep this one. Running out to his right, makes multiple men miss there on that run attempt. Out here to the right side, picks up about 7 yards or so. Or excuse me, about 3 or 4.
Little read play there off a counter tray action for Ravlin. They do have Gage Savin, and you do see at the skill positions a lot of subs in for the Eagles right now.
Ravlin still in the gun, trips out to his left, takes the snap, makes the handoff, going deep now, looking for Boothby, just a little bit of an overthrow.
Yeah.
Boothby had a couple of steps there on Schwartz.
He sure did. A little bit of an overthrow, but, a little bit of a send there for receivers. When you're running vertical routes, run the whole time. Don't pick it up when the ball's in the air. If you are at your fastest the whole time, you create separation. If you jog, if you're 3/4 and then get after the balls in the air, that's where you miss out on big play opportunities.
It's now 3rd and 5 for the Eagles. Ravlin in the gun once again. Trips out to his left. Anderson in the backfield. Takes the snap. Looking to that left side. Looking for Boothby again, who's able to haul it in that time. Looks like potentially just enough for the first pickup of about 5 yards, and that's going to move the chains for the Eagles.
Boy, that was almost took himself out of position. Had the ball, gave up a little ground, barely got it back. Really, really important for receivers to have good awareness on where the chains are and to get there. Don't give it up when you're trying to convert on 3rd down.
I'll make it 1st and 10 from their own 23. Ravlin in the gun. Motions Brand across the formation. He's going to pitch it to him. As Brand now works his way to the near sideline. Going to be met by a swarm of Cardinals there, however. There's a flag on the play as well.
Yeah, very well played. Starting at the defensive end position for the Cardinals, into the alley. Just anytime you can take those fly sweep type plays and stretch those hard and not allow the sweeper to cut up, that's going to be a win for the defense.
And they're going to push the Eagles back here. Back to about their own 17, 18.
And another penalty here. I think they might have got the Eagle offensive line on that reach block on the end.
Ravlin takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Able to find his man over the middle there.
Again, some of that RPO look. They're faking the inside zone play there to Savin. It's Wyatt Baker this time over the middle on that slant. Really just an excellent call, a second half adjustment out of the Eagles staff that they've been using against the Cardinal defense.
Makes it 2nd and 11 now. Ravlin in the snap once again. Savin in the backfield, fakes the handoff again. Looking deeper now to Baker. Baker bounces off of Schwartz. Has a blocker on the outside. He's going to be able to get past. Not quite able to break completely free, but nonetheless a huge pickup there for the Eagles.
Yeah, nice. Wyatt Baker with the reception. A huge block by looks like Mason Boothby out there to spring him for about an extra 20 yards. There's something going on the trip side right there. The number 2 receiver's been open more than a few times here recently on the vertical, and Underwood's been able to take advantage, especially on that last play.
Just 30 seconds left now in the quarter. 1st and 10 from the Treynor 25. Ravlin in the gun. Takes a snap, looking to that right side, able to find Ravlin there. He's able to push it up to about the, looks like they might mark him enough for the first. No, they're going to.
No, they did give it to him. And again, we talked about one of those slants. We talked about that in the second quarter. I don't know how many Underwood's completed. It's got to be getting to 7 or 8 since the halftime break. They've really owned that portion of the field.
Looks like they will give him the first. Ravlin takes a snap, looking to the right side once again. A lot of Treynor hands to get that one over. Incomplete pass there. Maybe a good thing that went a little high there.
I didn't fully see what happened with Mason Boothby on his break on that slant, but he had a heck of a time getting out of it. I don't know if – I didn't look like he was held up. Maybe he tripped, but I think if he gets that clean, it's 6.
Just 9 seconds left now. Underwood threatening once again here in the red zone, looking to make this potentially a 35-0 ball game. Ocean Boothby across the formation. Fake the handoff to Savin. Looking deep now to the end zone. It's Baker. Baker able to make the diving grab. A late flag on the play. But nonetheless, a great catch there from Baker with just 3 seconds left here in the quarter.
This is kind of in holding territory, which is too bad because it was a phenomenal. You just don't see ball adjustments like that out of high school receivers in the air and come up with such a great reception. Lyman downfield.
Another big call bringing back another potential Underwood. Big play there.
Yeah. I'm not confident that was RPO action out of Eagles that time, but if it was, it would make sense to have a lineman downfield. It would be consistent with a lot of the concept action we've seen out of them this half.
It's going to make it now 2nd and 15. Push him back out of the red zone now at the 21. Raveline has put together a solid night so far.
Yeah, the passing yardage has to be pretty significant for the Eagles at this point.
Also has 3 touchdown tosses to his name. Rolling out to his right now, looking deep once again. Boothby in the end zone. Oh, just out of the reach from Boothby there. Decent coverage.
Little wheel route by Boothby. Boothby with Peyton Chapman covered down on him. Maybe could have had an offensive PI in the push-off there.
And that is the end of the third quarter. It'll be 28-0 Underwood as we head into the fourth quarter. Let's take another quick break here, but we will be back for a fourth quarter action here for this Treynor Underwood matchup.
Digital Solutions started small, but now we're growing as FDS provides live streaming coverage for over 20 schools across 3 different states on our Fuller Digital Solutions YouTube channel. Subscribe to get notified when we go live for your school events. Big events are captured live, and your business can get noticed with advertising during our live streams. Local talent and camera operators are encouraged to contact us too for future employment. No experience necessary. We will train. For information about advertising or working with Fuller Digital Solutions, email us and follow us on Facebook.
Drop in to the Do Drop In for fantastic daily food specials. For lunch on Monday, chicken fried steak. Tuesday is Taco Tuesday. Wednesday is a wild card. Thursday, bacon cheeseburger, fries, and chocolate cake. And Friday is a sirloin steak sandwich. And for supper specials, on Thursday it's roasted chicken and Friday prime rib. Open 11:30 till 9 weekdays, till 2 Friday and Saturday, and closed Sundays. Drop in to the Do Drop In McClelland for great family food and drinks with friends.
Welcome back into Upon Further Review. We're talking now with Tucker Franklin, Kansas City Sports Network. Going to talk some Chiefs, so if you're a Chiefs fan, you might want to sit on the couch.
And we're back now for the fourth quarter action. Underwood about to have their first snap. It's 3rd and 15. Big play here. Raveline in the gun under heavy pressure. Ball comes out. Ball's loose right now. Who's going to be able to cover it? And it looks like Underwood was able to pounce on it.
Yeah, edge pressure has been the name of the game for the Cardinals tonight. Them outside backers have been pretty pesky.
Football on the play will bring up 4th and a mile.
Easton Elledge, the lineman who was able to pounce on that, and now it's 4th and 22.
Well,
there's a flag.
Will be 4th and 17.
Underwood once again able to get that Treynor defensive line to jump. We've seen that quite a bit tonight, John.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the penalty yardage is, but I don't think either coaching staff's going to be real pleased with the numbers they look at statistically when this night's over. But the penalty looks like it's enough to put us in Colin Brandt field goal range. This appears to be about a 39-yard field goal attempt from the left hash.
Kick is up for Brandt. This one looks good. Looks like it might have tipped the bar there, and it is good. Make it 31-0 now Underwood.
Not sure that'll make the highlight tape, but it does make the scoreboard, so that's all that matters.
Well, Underwood able to extend their lead here in the fourth quarter, and you're looking at the scoreboard now, John. Fourth quarter. I mean, what are you thinking right now if you're Casey? What are you trying to do here on this drive?
It's 31-0. You've had a heck of a time at your backup quarterback in. I think you're looking for positive things. You don't want to give up on the game, but you're looking for positive things to build on over the next 2 weeks. You clearly, if you're the Treynor Cardinals, you're in the driver's seat to look at maybe being the district runner-up as long as you don't stub your toe. And I think, when it comes down to defining a successful season from Treynor, it's making the playoffs. They didn't get a win or two in the playoffs, and I think those are things this team's very well capable of. I think probably one of the chief concerns they're going to have is just the health of their quarterback, Caden Dirks. One of the neat things we watched here at the break between the quarter was the celebration of the 1991 Treynor playoff team. And I was a freshman in high school that year, and can remember late, great coach Randy Donahue, tremendous influential guy down here as a coach. The Chambers boys, Brett and Bren, led that team. That was the playoff season that everything was played in the snow. I can remember listening to them playing AHSTW high school over here at the old field in Treynor in the snow that year.
Schumacher fields his kick return. There's a flag. He's going to bring it out to about the 33-yard line. And there is Cardinal down. It looks like
that might be Peterson. Yeah,
he's looking like he's slow to get up.
But the playoffs that year in 91 were something to be had. I mean, the snowstorm they played in up here, Avoca and Treynor going at it. Treynor had a phenomenal squad that year. I remember they played a lot of playoff games. I think this side of the state went to the Dakota Dome up in Vermilion to play. It was just such a unique year with the snow environment. But really a great team Treynor had there in 91. I forget one of them two Chamber boys. He walked on and played quite a bit at Iowa back in the day. So neat to see him bring back and honor those teams from 30 years ago.
Well, Peterson able to get up and walk off the field under his own power.
If there's one thing I feel like we're watching with this game right now, is Underwood is just pounding on Treynor. You see a few more limping, getting up a little slower. Just the physical, the size, the toll. Few teams this size make a commitment to the weight room like Treynor does. But, boy, Underwood's real close behind him with that, with Coach Ritter running the room now at the high school. And just the size, the physicality, that bad guys wear blue kind of mentality that Coach Stevens brings from the wrestling room, you're really seeing that at this point in the game.
It'll be 1st and 10 for Treynor from their own 19-yard line after the penalty. Brings it all the way back inside their own 20. Schwartz in the pistol as Miller behind him in the backfield. Two receivers out to his right, takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Miller. He's going to keep it himself, but he's wrapped up real quickly there in the backfield by the Eagles once again.
Yeah, Joey Anderson with initial contact and Carter Davis with the cleanup.
We're beginning to sound like a broken record a little bit up here, but another tackle for loss for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Another loss of yardage for Treynor. That's sort of been the tale of the story so far tonight offensively for Treynor.
It almost feels like the scoreboard's tighter than the total yardage will look when you read the paper tomorrow morning. The TFL total has to be very significant at this point in the night for the Underwood defense.
2nd and 17 for the Cardinals. A low snap there, rolls to Schwartz, who's able to get it off, and it's incomplete. Was looking to that left side, unable to connect on a low pass.
Not sure what went on out there with Schumacher and Josh Ravlin. Looked like something you might watch on Monday Night Raw, but the Ravlin kid's going to walk off the field here and get replaced and going to collect himself a little bit.
Make it 3rd and 17 now for the Cardinals.
I tell you, the Eagles bring in senior Mikey Dose to play safety now for the young Ravlin. Just to speak to the depth that the Eagles have, he is probably one of the more fundamentally sound kids on the entire squad. If you watch him attack the alley, watch him shimmy, come to balance when he comes to make a tackle, when you got guys like that on, are your backups, you've got a really good 1A football team.
3rd and 17 for the Cardinals. They come to the line. Schwartz under center. Miller in the backfield. He's going to hand it off to Miller, who's going to actually look like he's going to be brought down for a loss again. Loss of almost 2 yards there for Miller.
Look like Carter Davis there, just kind of a belly action fullback trap. Just a little bit slower developing play. And I'm honestly a little surprised. You saw Treynor come out in the I formation to open the half, run a straight inside veer. Let's get north and south very quickly. I think that looked like something that would work. They just haven't gone to it enough.
Boothby field Schwartz punt at around Treynor's 43. He's going to work it toward the near sideline now, shimmying around, making a couple of men miss. Brings it back to about the Treynor 35. Decent return there for Boothby.
Yeah.
Mason Boothby. Tackle on the play by number 24, Danny Kinsella.
Well, it didn't take Josh Ravlin long to find his way back on the field. I'm fine, Coach. I'm going in the slot. I'll see you. He's back out there, ready to go.
Like at 1st and 10 for the Underwood Eagles at the Treynor 35. Alex Ravlin in the gun. Trips out to his right. Joey Anderson in the backfield with him to his right. Takes the snap. Now looking to the right. He's going to dump it off to Anderson. Will's going to make a few Treynor guys miss. A couple of arm tackles looking there, and he's able to power right through those and pick up about 7-8 yards.
Yeah, if I'm the Underwood staff, that flare screen style of game, crack screen, some of those things, as tough as Anderson is out in the open field on that, man, that's something I would really look to work on that can make your offense tougher as you march forward throughout the season.
2nd and 4, Ravlin takes a snap, fakes the handoff, finds Wyatt Baker on the slant. Another nice pickup there, gets it all the way into the red zone now at about the 17-yard line.
Not a traditional release point for the ball there, kind of a sidearm action. Everybody wants to be like Patrick Mahomes right now, and that was as good as Ravlin's going to look on that all night. Kind of gunslinger that sucker in there, but his athleticism made it look pretty easy.
Eagles in the red zone once again tonight. Ravlin takes a snap from the gun. Looking to that right side, looking for his man, looking for Brandt. He was draped all over Miska there. There's a couple of flags that come in on that one.
Yeah, we've probably observed worse pass interferences not called tonight, but, you know, these refs aren't going to get everything right. I know like out in Nebraska, boy, the crisis, if you will, on the number of refs, they're having to schedule a pile of games Thursday, Friday, just throughout their state, just simply to have enough refs to cover. You see a lot of those crews working back-to-back nights just because there's just simply not enough referees. I mean, as you're kind of listening to some of the boo birds here in the crowd kind of work these guys over, I'd sure be mindful that population of folks willing to do this is not a growing group.
That'll push that penalty on the Cardinals. Defensive pass interference is going to bring it 1st down and 1 for the Eagles. Make the handoff to Anderson. Ravlin in the gun now, rolling out to his right, avoids the pressure, looking for his man. Was deflected though by that Cardinals defender. I believe that was Adley Drake actually out there, linebacker making a play out there.
Another probably ill-advised throw out of Ravlin. I think, if nothing else, Treynor's done Underwood some favors. This is the first time in a month Underwood starters have played 4 quarters. So they got that experience. They need that as they march forward throughout the season. But they're giving Ravlin some things to think about here.
Ravlin takes the snap once again in the gun. He's going to fake the hand up to Anderson, and he's going to take it himself all the way to the end zone. About a 7-8 yard touchdown run there from Alex Ravlin.
The result of the play is an Underwood touchdown.
Make it a 37-0 ball game as Brandt will trot out now to make this a 38-0 ball game.
Yeah, nice tough run by Ravlin. He's probably run the ball more tonight than the previous 5 games combined, I would imagine.
And here is the PAT attempt. That one is tried and true. Make it 38-0 Underwood. Got just under 9 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. We'll take another quick break, but we'll be right back here with fourth quarter coverage of this Treynor Underwood matchup. Well, with just under 9 minutes left, Colin Brandt now ready to kick this ball off. Schumacher, Pedersen back deep to return. This one's going to sail over both of them into the end zone for a touchback. Second one of the night for Colin Brandt.
Yeah, true to his word, Coach McKelson really wanted to get his starters 4 quarter minutes because he knows those contests are coming, and you still see the majority of the Eagle starters taking the field right now.
Well, Cardinals will set up shop now at their own 20-yard line. Tom Schwartz heads back out there with that offense. Down 38-0 right now. They'll come out in under center. Fullback Caden Miller in the backfield. A couple of receivers out to his right. Takes the snap, looking to that right, looking deep here. Schumacher makes a smart play there.
Wow. Yeah.
Although, yeah, there looks
that's
like
the right call.
Yep.
That'll be an offensive PI on Jackson Schumacher.
Looking like he was just trying to more or less break up what would have been almost a sure interception there for Colin Brandt.
Yep, those two just traded roles. Brandt was playing the ball and Schumacher was playing the man. Like the design, like the idea, get your playmaker out in space. It's a one-on-one matchup, but kind of like we've talked, Underwood's just got so many guys like Jackson Schumacher. It's kind of the swarm mentality for the Eagles.
This is going to push, OPI is going to push Treynor back to their own 10-yard line now. They get first and half a county mile here for Treynor, first and 20. Schwartz will come out under in the pistol, or in the gun, excuse me. He's got Caden Miller to his right. He's going to motion him to his left now. Takes the snap, looking to that right side, finds Pedersen, who's going to have the ball there for a moment, but bounces out of his hands and clearly showing a little frustration there.
Yep, you can sure tell that football matters to 13, so opportunities like that when they kind of get fumbled off your fingertips are going to be tough.
They get second and 20 as the clock now reaches about 7.5 minutes left here in the ball game. Treynor makes a quick substitution. Second and long from their own 20. Come out in the I formation now. Schwartz under center. Takes the snap. Going to hand it off to fullback Caden Miller, who, I'll tell you what, if there's something that has been guaranteed for Treynor tonight, it has been that Miller will almost always fall forward for them. But unfortunately, he's been having to start behind the line of scrimmage a lot of tonight.
I feel like as Treynor will reflect on the night, a game plan that might have kept us closer, kept them in the game, would have involved more first down carries to get them to 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7. Just get right downhill on Underwood. They got a lot of guys at the line. They're blitzing a lot. You used to have the phrase run through the smoke. You know, if you can just manage to break a few tackles, get out of that first level, get out of that mess, then you've got a chance. They just haven't gotten out of the smoke much tonight.
They get third and long now for the Cardinals. Schwartz drops back. Looking over the middle here, had a man. Nisko was there.
He didn't seem too interested in catching that ball. I thought that looked like an excellent ball placement by the Q, but there were a couple Eagle messers in the area, and I think it kind of deterred the young man from getting too interested in getting involved.
Certainly would have been a big collision there, and Schwartz now gets ready to punt away once again for the Cardinals. Sending his own end zone now.
If it wasn't blocked, it was darn close. Wyatt Baker's been in there quiet a little bit tonight. Looks like Underwood's going to get really favorable field position here at around the 25-yard line.
It looks like it might have gotten a finger or two on that one that sent it straight up in the air there. And like you said, great field position now for Underwood.
Well, I tell you, I know this night hasn't gone the way that the Treynor types have wanted it to go, but I can't communicate enough what a fantastic job Jeff Casey and his staff are doing. They've stabilized this program so well since he's become the head coach. They've put schemes in place that they can be successful with at all levels. It really puts them on really firm foundation as a program.
Oh, Anderson able to take a screen pass here to the near sideline to the end zone, but there was a flag right away. Looks like this one's probably going to come back. Caden Miller, a little slow to get up there for the Cardinals.
You hazard a guess at the number of flags we've seen tonight?
Oh, I definitely say north of 12 or 15 at this point.
Oh, I'd say, I might even go higher than that. If there was 20, 22, 25, I mean, it's been a lot. I mean, the referees are going to talk to Superintendent Navarro about a little bonus for the ball game here when the thing's over.
Another big Underwood play brought back. It's about 3 or 4 big plays now. Two straight almost touchdowns that they've had called back on interceptions just in this half alone. 1st and 15 now for Ravlin in the gun as Anderson to his right, couple of receivers out to his left and his right, takes the snap, looking to that left side, finds Brandt. Brandt makes a couple of men miss before he's brought down around the 29-yard line. Actually going to be a loss of yardage there starting there in the backfield, unable to do a whole lot with it.
Eagles kind of digging a little deeper in the playbook, maybe running some things they haven't traditionally run. But, I talk about Treynor having well-established schemes and whatnot. Underwood's in the same boat. I mean, they run about 5 or 6 base run schemes. It allows great flexibility with moving linemen around, and those kids know them backwards, frontwards, and forwards.
2nd and 16 for the Eagles. And Ravlin able to, oh, my goodness, had his man wide open there. Over the middle would have been a for sure touchdown right there, most likely.
If we were in his comfort zone on the baseball diamond, there's an error button right there. That bulb's flashing right now. Error. Ouch.
Josh Van Fossen, the receiver there, who almost had a walk-in touchdown, but dropped the pass. And I think 3rd and 16 now for the Eagles. Ravlin in the gun once again. And once again.
Well, if we don't got 20 penalties, we're going to get there yet, okay?
Another flag. Ravlin able to get another Cardinal to jump.
While we're talking about, the refs getting paid a little extra, I know you're listening. I mean, we might need a little extra. Us KMA boys, we're working hard out here tonight. We might need some overtime pay.
3rd and 11 now for the Eagles. Ravlin dropping back, facing a little pressure, able to get the ball up. Finds Brandt on a beautiful throw and catch, and Brandt takes it into the end zone. Touchdown Underwood. Able to extend their lead even more here late in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, just a fantastic, athletic play by Colin Brandt, and then just a strong play. I mean, you can see the physical maturity of a senior receiver there, a senior season. The kid has played a lot of varsity football, very evident on that play.
Colin Brandt now looking to add the extra point to his own touchdown there now. Snap is in, and the kick is up. And it's good once again, no doubt. 45-0, just over 2.5 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. And, if you're Underwood, I mean, what's some of your big takeaways? Right now you're up, obviously up big, 45-0. Defense has played phenomenal, really gotten into the backfield a lot. I mean, what are you telling your guys in the locker room after this game?
Well, I think what you say to them in the locker room leads into how you plan and prepare for next week. But, I mean, after games like this, you can afford to be a little tough on your guys. You can afford to correct some things. And the penalties, I'm all over the penalties right now. If they want to accomplish the goals I know they want to accomplish, they can't play this sloppy and have that many penalties. They can't have big plays taken away. So, when your team loses a tough game like this, you got to kind of love them up a little bit, get them confident again. But when you win to this manner, you can be a little tougher on your guys. And if I'm Coach McHaleson, Coach Ritter, Coach Richards, that's kind of where I'm at next week. These penalties, this is not going to fly if your intentions are to play in the dome.
Well, Brandt now ready to kick this one away. Schumacher and Pedersen back deep to return once again. Kick is away. This one right down the middle, and they're both going to let this one roll once again. It doesn't quite get to the end zone, though. Pedersen has to pick it up at around the 1-yard line. He's going to be able to get back out to about the 10 before he's brought down by a swarm of Eagles.
That's the darndest thing I've ever seen. That thing just got to the 1 and said, well, that's all the momentum I got. Poor Pedersen back there. He's a son of a gun. We got to go.
Certainly not a great way to start another drive here for the Cardinals. Once again, starting deep in their own territory. Clock running down now to just about 2 minutes left here in the 4th quarter.
One thing very good to see here late in the game, I do see Cardinal quarterback Caden Dirks down here in the sidelines in full pads supporting his teammates. Oh, man.
And another Another big play in the backfield for the Eagles.
Underwood's going to have first and goal on a fumble recovery at about the 6.
Well, there you go. Underwood. I think that kind of sums up this game a little bit. Treynor, tough field position, costly mistake, and Underwood most likely going to be able to capitalize here once again.
Yeah.
Mentioned that Treynor 6. Running clock now as we get close to 1:30 left.
Yep, we're in victory formation here.
Underwood will take victory formation. Ravlin takes the knee.
Classy gesture by the Eagles staff, showing some mutual respect for a rival that they know their day's probably coming. This switches around a little bit. You know, in all the years I coached, you know, my father being a farmer, he'd come to the games. He'd never say a whole lot. But if we ever got in this situation, we had a chance to take a knee and show a little mercy on somebody, I always heard about that after the game. I was glad you did that, John. You know, so classy gesture here. A couple rivals showing each other a little respect right now.
Certainly these teams have played each other the past 14 straight years, make it 15 now. You know, Underwood's been able to take the past couple, but, you know, what goes around comes around. And
well, in the fall of 1994, yours truly was a senior at Underwood High School on a 1-8 football team, but I can tell you that one was against the Treynor Cardinals, so the season wasn't a total loss, okay?
We'll see the Underwood team starting to line up already. Just 30 seconds left here in the game. Underwood about to walk away with a dominant 45-0 win over Treynor. Big rivalry win for them as we head into the home stretch of the season, heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, Underwood now they get to hang out at home for a while. West Monona on the surface on the schedule, and then follow it up in week 8 with Kemper Catholic. And I think we're looking at a couple squads here that, unless something really odd happens, you are looking at your district qualifiers here for the playoffs. So a lot of football to come yet. Even though the score says 45-0 Underwood, it's just not a total lost night for Treynor. There's a lot of good things going on there yet, too.
As mentioned, clock has hit 0. Teams shaking hands. Now Underwood wins 45-0. Now, you said obviously we'll do a little post-game wrap-up here. Treynor had, as you mentioned, they had some bright spots. You know, unfortunately, it was a little too late at getting Schumacher involved in that offense. Underwood just able to swarm him with a bunch of athletes. Just, if you're Treynor, what are you thinking? You got a few games left in the year before heading into the playoffs. You know, what's your message to your guys right now if you're Coach Casey?
Well, you know, for me, first and foremost, I want to make sure Caden Dirks is healthy. I think he's a very integral part of this offense. Their triple option schemes, especially out of the I formation, featuring Miller and Schumacher and Dirks, I think are really something that play well into who they are and what they do. And those are the things, to me, along with some passing game out there to the Peterson kid, those are things, if I'm Treynor, that I'm going to put my hat on between now and the end of this football season.
Certainly Underwood now moves to 6-0 on the year. Treynor falls to 4-2. Underwood will be walking away with a big rivalry win, probably going to be a pretty fun bus ride home for these guys.
Oh, yeah, heck yes. I know they're getting fed well tonight. My wife's over at Casey's right now picking up a whole raft of pizzas for these boys. So, you know, they're fun. I mean, there's nothing more pure. There's nothing better in the whole world than a bus ride home after a rivalry win. I mean, those are great moments for a young man. So the Underwood kids, I might pay admission to ride that bus home tonight. That's a lot of fun for those guys.
Sure, Alex Ravlin, obviously a big night tonight. 4 passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown as well. Joey Anderson picking up the other touchdown for the Eagles. I think that's about all we got for you here from Treynor. Once again, Underwood wins 45-0 over Treynor.